Yunwu looks at the well-trained soldiers in front of him and claps silently for Gao Yu and Ling Qingshui. He says that what brings them surprise is still silent. This mentality is not so easy to come out. At present, the cloud dance is not to sell the key. As soon as you lift your right hand, a milky jade card appears in the palm of your hand. This jade card once helped the Lord of Flint Town break through the advanced level when he was in Flint Town. Later, when the energy inside was exhausted, Yunwu took it back again. Now there is no pure power that anyone can absorb in the jade card. But it is still the key to open the ancient summoner's tomb. For Yunwu, this jade card is still important. As soon as the jade plate appeared, many people's eyes were attracted by the milky light on Yunwu's hand. They looked at the thing curiously one by one. They could not feel any breath in the distance, but they always felt very attractive when they came into contact with it. What the leader brought back is really good. Someone sighed in his heart, though he didn't know what it was for. Cloud dance, a hook in the corner of the mouth. At the next moment, with a little toe, he flew directly to the side of the table. His body was light and fast, as if he could only see the shadow in people's eyes. All the way to the far left side of the table, Yunwu waved his right hand, and the milky light swept across the table. Then, Yunwu's body slowly flew to the right. Where it passed, it was just an empty table. A row of small porcelain vases appeared on the table. The speed of Yunwu kept on. It didn't stop until the end of the table. At this time, there are many bottles and cans on each table, in a row, from left to right. The soldiers could not help exclaiming, "Pills." Gao Yu's mouth turned a hook. He didn't expect that under the leader's elixir, these soldiers, who used to be serious, would show their surprised expressions. Was it that they were stimulated too much? Cloud Dance returned to his previous position again, looked at the people below and said, "These pills are rewards for you, which can help you to better practice. Now you go forward to get them according to the general's arrangement, and take them before the next training, which can improve your training speed." These pills are all made by Yunwu all night in the past 2 days, but they are the most basic pills. It took 2 days to make enough pills. And because of this, Yunwu's alchemy technology is getting better and better. At first, Hayo will help her, but later, she can alchemy quickly without Hayo's help. There are a lot of herbs in the ancient summoner's tomb, especially in some common ear chambers. Many herbs are almost thrown everywhere. It's most suitable for refining this basic pill. Yunwu doesn't feel any pain. And in addition, she also refined a slightly better elixir, which was used for those soldiers who were breaking through. The soldiers below had been very excited for a long time. At this time, as soon as the voice of Cloud Dance fell, they could not help cheering directly. If Gao Yu was not a serious man watching, they would have been unable to help it. Everyone listened to the order, and the general of each regiment of the 13 regiments will come forward to collect them, and each of them will receive 100. Ling Qingshui stepped forward and said, "The team leaders of the killer regiment listen to the order. Come forward and get them. Each one will get 30. At the command of the 2 men, the people standing in the front row of the team came forward one after another, consciously lined up and began to receive their own pills. When the porcelain bottles reached their hands, everyone's eyes seemed to flash. The status of Cloud Dance in the hearts of the public has risen a level. It's worthy of being the leader. We are so generous. We are 2,000 people. We can't rob more than 2,000 pills outside." The pills began to be distributed, and the atmosphere became active again. Some people were secretly discussing. "Yes, do you think the leader has met a powerful pharmacist? Otherwise, how can you make so many pills at once? You don't know yet." Another said, "Our leader is a pharmacist himself. I'm afraid she made all these pills. That's why she's so generous." "What? Chief or pharmacist?" A group of soldiers who just joined the Cloud Army said in surprise. Soon, the news that Yunwu was a pharmacist spread directly among the soldiers. At this time, all the people who came forward to collect the pills had returned to the team and began to distribute the pills. Each small pill to the hand, people can't help but be attracted, wish now directly swallow. However, what really surprised them was still behind. Chief, this batch has been sent out. Gao Yu went to Yunwu and said. Yunwu nodded, and then the figure moved again. Just like just now, it was another flight from left to right. A pile of things appeared again on the long table which had just become empty. But this time, it was not bottles, but scattered pills, with a small pile on each table. These pills were originally found in the tomb. Because the grade was not high, but the quantity was huge, and they were randomly stacked in some ear chambers. So Yunwu speculated that these things were only left by the tomb owner when he practiced medicine refining. Cloud Dance is also not polite, picked a number of enough to determine the effect they have used as a reward to the soldiers. Every 3 tables is a kind of pill. I have put the usage and efficacy on it. Please arrange for someone to come up and get it. Back in the middle, Yunwu said to Gao Yu. As soon as Gao Yu's eyes brightened, he immediately nodded, and together with Ling Qingshui, he sent a lot of hands to distribute them again. This time, the whole scene became more active. This time, Gao Yu directly ordered the soldiers not to be restrained, so the people below didn't have to whisper at last. Some soldiers even came up to talk to Yunwu. Chief, did you refine all these pills? Some soldiers finally came close to Yunwu's side and quickly asked. The worship in his eyes was not concealed. Cloud Dance mouth a hook, but also not in credit. The previous batch is indeed my refining, but this batch is not, just good luck, chance to get it, you can get it. Wow, so many of them were made by the leader alone. It's amazing. Yunwu's words not only didn't make his image discount in the hearts of people, but also made people more convinced because he told the truth. Chief, I heard that you are in the Wuling realm now. Can you spare time to give us some advice? We want to improve a little bit. There is a soldier embarrassed to say, looking particularly shy, but the eyes are tough. Cloud Dance nodded, Wei, natural no problem, this batch of Dan medicine hair finished, for individual outstanding performance, there will be extra reward. On hearing this, the crowd became more excited. Really? There are better rewards? How generous the chief is. I must get a reward, let's train hard. I'll be promoted soon. For a moment, everyone was full of energy. Cloud Dance satisfaction looking at the scene in front of, can't help but smile. Cloud Dance uses Shengguan Summoner's Tomb to improve the strength of all the soldiers and killers, and also remembers friends who don't know where they are. At this time, Long Qingxia and others, who had been busy the day before, continued to be busy early this morning. Just in the early morning, everyone scattered again and went on to look for the remaining 2, but one day passed without any clue. Until the evening of the 3rd day, Mu Xiuming suddenly walked into the hut. By this time, except for Cloud Dance, everyone had joined up. Long Qingxia's heart was even more depressed. His face was like frost, which made him very difficult to approach. Chongguangji is a little chilly. These people are eating and living here, spending all the money they robbed, and their wallets are crying. But what to do, who call others powerful, what to say is what, otherwise, I'm afraid this group of people around me have died. However, Chongguangji didn't think how terrible these people were. After all, they looked very kind. In the evening, we lit the candle again. 7 people sat in front of the candle, with tea on the table. Although it was not good tea, we didn't dislike it at all. We continued to drink tea. Now it's just the little ones that haven't been found. Long Qingxia bowed his head, and his face was very ugly. After a pause, he gave a cold hum, it seems that we have to make them pay some price. Looking at everyone's cold eyes and the murderous spirit rising from his body, Chongguangji almost choked the tea in his throat. After all, in this group of people, they are not as good as ants. Sitting in them, they still feel a little out of place. Thinking about this, I couldn't help feeling ashamed. I stood up and scratched my head with a simple smile and said, You talk first. I'll go out and let my brothers bake some good meat and bring some wine. We'll eat and talk together. But Long Qingxia looked up at him, motioned him to sit down, and said seriously, Chang Guangji, although I have accepted this regiment now, you are still the leader of this regiment when I am away. What I ask you now is to recruit members during our operation. I think you also want to expand your team and become a big one. Said, eyes full of bright stars, looking at Chang Guangji. See, Chang Guangji are excited. After all, I need you. Chang Guangji's heart trembled, and suddenly a stream of blood gushed out of his heart, straight to his head. Those who have been fighting for strength all their lives, of course, only shed blood for the strong. So all the members of Chongguan group gathered that night. In the dark night, there are a group of young people who have gone wrong because of their desire for power. Some of them have not gone wrong, but have gone wrong. In fact, all of them are enthusiastic and love chivalry. Everyone saw that Chang Guangji's face was full of excitement and fighting spirit, and all of them were excited instantly. After all, this person is the one who takes them in, gives them food to eat, has something to do, and can fulfill their swordsman dream. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement today. Chang Guangji looked at a large group of people in front of him. His excited eyes were full of light. He took a deep breath, tried to adjust his breath, and tried to calm down. Everyone, I decided that from tomorrow on, I will lead you to train together, and strive to improve the realm. On hearing this, everyone was in an uproar and lowered their heads to discuss it one after another. How to improve? This is a very difficult thing. As an ordinary person without any talent, how can he improve his strength quickly in such a difficult situation? Do you know that our new boss and his friends are all experts among the experts? Since we recognize this man as the boss, we can't say our level is equal to them. At least we have to be able to claim to be their team behind them, don't you? Suddenly, Chang Guangji's words seemed to ignite the fighting spirit of all the people present. Almost at the same time, there was a blaze in everyone's eyes. In the process of searching for these people, we all know their identities. The strength of the Beast Gate makes everyone afraid. However, they have the courage to compete with the Beast Gate people. This is the really great place. The people sitting in the room can't help laughing when they hear the admonition outside. In fact, they don't know what a dangerous road it is. How about that? Tomorrow, I'll show you the place, and then we'll discuss the details. Because at present, we don't know how many troops are stationed there, or how many resources are there, he said, with the lake behind them. It is estimated that this place is very important to them. Meng Bai was leaning on his chin, thinking. Lake water. A member of Chang Guangji's staff suddenly poked his head in and looked at several people. You're talking about the energetic lake? For a moment, everyone's eyes focused on that person. Have you seen that place? Shangguan stares at the man. The man nodded his head seriously and said, it's a big lake. That lake is actually connected with the fairyland. Everyone took a cold breath, eyes relative, all saw the shock in everyone's eyes. But then 10,000 Beast Gate occupied there and established a huge supply base, through which the reserve resources were transmitted to various branches. The man said, come over and stand beside a few people. Long Qingxia asked him to sit down, and then everyone listened to him. There are about 20,000 troops of the 10,000 Beast sect, among which there are at least 6 people above Wuzong. The man said. Everyone was shocked, not by the strength of the forces set up here, but by how this person knew so many things. How do you know? Long Qingxia frowned slightly and looked at the man with doubts and vigilance. How could such a person live in the humble grass stockade of Chongguan Group? It seems that after finding out all people's hostility and vigilance towards him, the man finally got flustered and stood up in a hurry, facing the humanity. No, it's not what you think, it's just because. The man pursed his mouth, lowered his head, and sighed, it's just because my family once died under the hands of the Beast Gate. I'm very angry, so I've been exploring secretly. Through various channels, I finally mastered the action and specific distribution of the Beast Gate in this area. Everyone looked at each other, and it seemed that they could not completely believe the man in front of them, but the doubts in their eyes had been reduced a lot, so they motioned him to continue. That lake is a natural Lingli lake. Although Wan women want to take this lake as their own, the powerful Lingli prevents any kind of Dharma array from covering it. Therefore, they can only set up a branch guard there to prevent others from entering the realm. That is to say, if the realm of their subordinates of the 10,000 Beast sect was promoted so fast, it was all due to the Spirit Lake. Nangong-yi pursed his mouth, very serious. The man nodded and did not speak again. The boundary between the fairyland and the upper world is so full of spiritual power. It turns out that the Beast Gate has occupied such a good geomantic treasure land. Shangguan's eyes had already been burning with high morale. He clenched his fist and slapped it on the table. He said, "Tomorrow we'll go to find out." On hearing this, the man opened his eyes and quickly waved his hand and said, "Absolutely not. The men of the 10,000 Beast sect are more aggressive and bloodthirsty. If they catch them, I'm afraid they'll end up in a terrible situation." Shangguan sneered and sighed, "You don't know. We not only have these people, but also countless forces all over the world waiting for orders. At that time, when we receive orders, we will kill them directly." Then he made a killing gesture on his neck and snorted. "Well, if you don't have any opinions about destroying the branch, I'll build the teleport array today, and then tomorrow." Dragon tilted his heresy, turned to look at the man, and then said, "Call Chongguangji in." After a while, Chongguangji sat in the position of the man. "Tomorrow morning, you will send people from the teleportation array to gather forces everywhere, and we will raid the branch of Wanwoman in the future." He frowned a little, then, evil spirit a smile, "Little guy missing these days, use his 20,000 elite soldiers to compensate it." Said, suddenly appeared in the hands of more than a dozen small flags, above all written a evil word, and then Long Qingxie put his spiritual power into the flag, handed a flag to Chongguangji. "I hope you send trustworthy people to complete this task." Chongguangji hasn't fully digested what happened just now. Long Qingxie has turned around and walked out. "Boss, what are you doing?" Chongguangji cried out. Long Qingxie didn't speak. He went straight ahead and disappeared in the moonlight. Shangguan looked at the back of the dragon, frowned slightly and said, "Is it difficult to build a teleportation array?" He looked up at the sky and scratched his head, "I'll go out and have a look." After the establishment of the teleportation array, he is most tired. If he is attacked secretly, the consequences can be imagined. Chongguangji thought to himself that the boss was going to do something dangerous. He was curious and followed him. Long Qingxie found an open space behind the stockade, which was just covered by the thatched cottage. He stood still, turned his head and looked at the Shangguan and Shangguan who followed him. He didn't say anything. He continued to face forward, closed his eyes and raised his hands. Suddenly, in front of the void, the naked eye can see a wave of spiritual power. Then, a very gorgeous energy scroll appeared in front of the dragon, magnificent, surrounded in front of the dragon. This made Chongguangji take a breath, dazzled and full of worship. "The man in front of me is so powerful that I can't imagine." He turned to see Shangguan, but he frowned and looked at Long Qingxie without blinking. His eyes were dignified and worried. And around, Nangong-yi and others also came out one after another, quietly scattered everywhere, looking at the situation outside. Time goes by slowly. It wasn't until the third stroke of the moon that Long Qingxie came back to his senses. He pinched his shoulder and was very stiff. However, when he looked up at Long Qingxie, he found that he still kept his original posture, closed his eyes, but his face was a little pale. This is the power of the strong. Chongguangji looks at the transmission formation in front of him, and his heart has changed from the initial timidity to the present sincere worship. All the people around Long Qingxie were very dedicated. No one rested or sat down. They surrounded the stockade to protect the safety of the stockade. Energy fluctuations will attract the attention of the Beast Gate. Shangguan frowned and looked at Long Qingxie. Now Long Qingxie looks very tired, but he still insists on it. If not expected, before sunrise, the teleportation array should be set up. But all of a sudden, there was a noise outside. Shangguan and Chongguangji turned their heads almost at the same time and looked in the direction of the voice. In front of the stockade, several people suddenly appeared. They were shouting around the stockade. They were very arrogant, and they were throwing stones at the stockade. Chong Guangji stretched his head to have a look, but he had no choice but to smile bitterly. It seems that he was the enemy before. Don't care. I'll deal with him. Then he walked towards the door. Shangguan suddenly stopped him and frowned. No matter what method, tell them to go. You can rest assured that we will not lose you. After all, the noise outside will attract people to watch. They don't want to cause more trouble. Long Qingxia can't help but frown. He is a little irritable. Chi night look up at the sky, has been a fish belly white, almost dawn. Half an hour later. The transmission array has been basically established. Chong Guangji stood beside them, looking at the group of people and the pale face of Long Qingxi. A sense of reverence came to him. He looked at Long Qingxi excitedly and touched the dozen summoning orders in his arms. All of a sudden, he suddenly understood why the summoning order was given to him by Long Qingxia last night, because today Long Qingxia may not even have the strength to talk to him. Think of such a person who can't look up to himself, who is also striving so hard. Chong Guangji's eyes suddenly become firm. This person, this group of people, I will follow. When the sun suddenly gradually jumped out of the eastern mountain, the sun sprinkled on the earth, the dragon slowly opened his eyes. Vomit a breath, the body of Long Qing evil shakes, the transmission array has been built. Turning his head, he looked at Chong Guangji and said, have your people been allocated? We can start now. Before he finished, he closed his eyes and fell down. Shangguan quickly came forward to help him, turned his head to the humanity around him. I'll send him back. You'll guard here first. I suspect that the people who suddenly made trouble last night may have been sent by the people of the Beast Gate, because after all, we can't do it by pretending to be ordinary people. It's rare to be serious. It makes everyone's expression serious and nods. Chong Guangji, on the other hand, called the people who had been ordered last night to deliver the flag to them before the battle, saying, go and return quickly. Pay attention to your safety. Everyone nodded and said yes. One by one, they walked up and down the array, turned into a white light and disappeared in front of them. Chong Guangji pursed his mouth tightly. At this moment, he suddenly felt that he had changed from a little gangster who robbed his family to a hero. Holding the order tightly in his hand, he stepped on the transmission line. Everyone has left here one after another. So we have to have someone to guard the teleport in case of an accident. Chi's face was cold in the night. It was hard to say a word or two. Then I'll keep it from sunset today to sunrise tomorrow. Nangong Yi came forward and said, turning to look at Chi's night, he said, you're here to watch today's day. Then everyone assigned the task of guarding the teleport array one by one. It didn't take long. Just when we reached an agreement and were ready to carry out the plan, the rest of the Chongguang regiment came forward from the stockade. Well, can we also help guard? Although our ability is relatively poor, we can work together with 2 people. If there is anything wrong, even if one person is killed, another person can go back and tell the truth. At this time, all members of Chongguang group have already regarded these people as their own boss, and the sense of pride that arises spontaneously makes everyone suddenly excited. The dark deeds and forced repression created by the Beast Gate make everyone dare to be angry and speechless. Among these people, there are such a group of people who dare to fight against the Beast Gate openly. How can people not be excited? Although all the members of the Chongguang regiment are robbing families, occasionally bullying honest people, often bullying some landlords and bullies, and occasionally harassing officials and businessmen, they still have a heroic dream in their heart. Meng Bai laughed and patted the Chongguang brothers on the shoulder, saying, that's great, so we can reduce our pressure. Several brothers of Chongguang group burst into tears in an instant. There was a kind of frenzied excitement that the hero patted me on the shoulder and never washed my shoulder again. Nangong Yi looked around at all the members of Chongguang group and suddenly asked, if Chong Guangji is not here, who are you in charge here? The remaining 10 or so Chongguang group brothers looked at each other, and then shook their heads blankly. It's the Chongguang boss who has been managing this organization all the time. Nangong Yi frowned slightly and seemed dissatisfied. Then he looked at several people and pointed to one of them and said, "Come here, I'll ask you something." The man is flattered and nods quickly. He follows Nangong Yi and others into the room. Chi Yis looks at a group of people walking into the room. He sits directly under a tree and looks straight ahead. He doesn't know what he is thinking. When they got to the house, they all sat down one after another. Nangongji asked the man to sit beside him and asked, "What's your name?" "Young master, I'm Qin Shinran." Qin Shinran said in fear. "Do you know how many people there are in Chongguan group?" "There are 26 people I know." Qin Shinran said. Nangong Yi frowned, "Only 26 people? How do you keep up with these few people who are the only ones who rob houses and families on weekdays?" "Young master, we are almost unable to maintain it, because our Chongguan group is really unpopular. In addition, we all think that we will only rob families, so we all look disgusted, so." Qin Shinran scratched his head and gave a shy smile. Nangong Yiran nodded, bowed his head for a moment, looked up at the people sitting around him. "Do you mean they need to gather more companions to join the team and train together to become a powerful mercenary regiment?" Chi Yi said. He turned to Qin Shinran and asked, "Do you think you have room for development?" Qin Shinran was stunned. He didn't seem to want to digest what Nangong Yi said. He was stunned for a long time. Until Nangong Yi repeated it again, he suddenly realized that they wanted to cultivate their own organization into a mercenary corps. Qin Shinran's excited hands began to tremble, almost shed tears, and quickly nodded, "Yes. Certainly. We can recruit. We can get more people together. So please don't worry about our personnel. That would be great." All of a sudden, the sound of dragon pouring evil came from behind, which made everyone can't help looking back. "Why don't you rest a little longer?" asked Meng Bai. Long Qingxie yawned. He came to sit down and said, "It's just a matter of physical exertion. I'll make it up after 2 sleeps." Turning to Qin Shinran, he said, "That is to say, you can guarantee that you can recruit more people in a short time." We can, right?" Qin Shinran said, but the affirmation in his tone gradually disappeared. Finally, he sighed, "No matter what, our reputation before was not very good, so now, if we go to recruit people, not many people would like to come to us." Long Qingxie bowed his head and pondered for a while. He said faintly, "Then change your name and make a comeback." A comeback makes Qin Shinran's heart beat faster. These people are really inspiring all the time. Qin Shinran nodded and said excitedly, "When Elder Chong comes back, let's discuss the name change." Long Qingxie bowed his head, hooked his mouth and nodded slightly. The next afternoon, Chongguangji and several people had returned to Chongguan group. "We call Chongguangji together. Big brother, let's start a new name and make a comeback." Before Long Qingxie could speak, Qin Shinran had already grasped Chongguangji's arm excitedly and called out. Chongguangji Leng looked at Qin Shinran for a long time, then suddenly asked, "Why?" "Because I want to turn your team into a powerful mercenary group and a force for us to attack the Beast Gate." Long Qingxie looked up at Chongguang and said, "But your Chongguang regiment has a bad reputation, so the best way now is to change its name and rebuild it." Mercenary regiment. Chongguangji has taken a deep breath for several times, but he still hasn't calmed down. If the mercenary regiment can be called elsewhere, what a great thing it is. Without saying a word, he suddenly fell down on his knees with a plop, kowtowed 3 times to the dragon, and said excitedly, "Boss. From now on, I'll only give you a few heads up." With a light smile, Long Qingxie lifted up Chongguangji and scolded him, "How can a man kneel down easily? You are ready to draw up the name and recruitment notice first, but we—" He turned his head to look at the group of good friends around him and laughed meaningfully, "We help you prepare your base." The summoning order of Long Qingxie, 2 days after receiving the order, gathered in the valley in front of Linghu. But that night, suddenly something happened. Originally calm hill, suddenly broke into 2 teams of 10,000 beast men. They searched in the valley, and then came towards the grass village on the hillside. Those who found this group of people were the two Chongguang regiments who were on the vigil that night. They rushed into the room and said nervously, "Boss. There are about 200,000 beast men coming towards our stockade outside." All of a sudden, everyone is nervous, because if it is found, then what may come next is a stronger opponent. So Long Qingxie rushed out of the stockade and planned to destroy them before they went up the mountain. These people all ambushed around the valley. Although the mountain is not high and the valley is not big, it is very hidden and there are many trees. A gust of wind came, the whole mountain was silent, as if there was no one. Time passed quickly. In a twinkling of an eye, it was the third day when the clouds were dancing to the valley. The busyness of the last 2 days is still going on. Fortunately, Gao Yu and Ling Qingshui are here. They are arranged in good order. Cloud Dance's daily task is to spend a lot of time on the martial arts arena in addition to training, and to comment on training for one person after another. 2 days later, Yunwu didn't remember how many people had commented on it, and even some people asked once. If it wasn't enough, they had to ask again. "Chief, do you think I am? This is my move." A killer came to Yunwu and said with a stiff tone, "It seems that she looks cold because of long-term training, but her eyes are still full of worship of Yunwu." With these words, she moved quickly among the people. It was pure speed. When she moved, she seemed to be everywhere, but she couldn't catch her at all. Yunwu squints at the woman's move to hide herself. Then she reaches out and grabs it casually, and grabs the moving figure on her hand. Everyone exclaims. Worthy of being the leader, she broke her moves so easily. Yes. She's the top 3 killer in the killer corps. What's more, the speed is the best. I've never seen anyone break it. The leader is really powerful. Otherwise, how can you say it's the leader? The assassin who was caught was also very surprised, but because of the quality of the assassin, he soon recovered calm. He didn't feel embarrassed when he was caught by Yunwu. Instead, he was looking forward to Yunwu's advice. Wuzong realm, it's good to be able to reach this speed. The cloud dances to loosen to open a hand, appreciative of nodded. Hear her mouth, around just now is still talking about all the people instantly quiet down, all people are staring at her. You know, what the killer just covered up is a move that the whole killer army will learn, which can greatly improve their speed and agility. Although Cloud Dance is not to instruct them, as long as they hear 1 or 2 random words, and then study them carefully in combination with their own situation, it's very easy to improve their strength, so naturally they can't miss it. This move is a must-learn move as a killer. It can greatly improve your speed and agility, which is one of the reasons why I arranged for you to learn it. Cloud Dance looked at the killer and said, the voice is not big, but spread out by using the inside, so that everyone can hear, but this move is also very easy to misunderstand. Misunderstanding? The killer frowned. Isn't his speed fast enough? Cloud Dance nodded and said, as a killer, what's the most important thing? The killer was stunned, thought for a moment and said, speed? Or agility? Cloud Dance shook his head, then serious eyes in the stage of each killer's face swept, word by word clear said, is hidden. People suddenly realized. As killers, many people don't have the same strong defensive and offensive power as soldiers. The killer's fatal trick is to surprise. It's very important to hit the target with one hit. If you want to hit the target with one hit, you must have the stage of concealment, so no matter what moves we use, we can't forget this. The people under the stage nodded one after another, and they all felt that what Yunwu said was very reasonable. Do you know what's the biggest mistake you've made in using this move? Cloud Dance looked at the killer and asked seriously. The woman lowered her head and thought for a long time. At last, there was a flash of light in her eyes, as if she knew something for a moment. I see. The Cloud Dance's a corner of mouth to hook, don't interrupt her words. The biggest mistake I've made is putting the cart before the horse, ignoring the part of concealment in order to improve my speed and agility. The woman said seriously, but she didn't feel guilty because she made such a serious mistake. On the contrary, she had a strong chagrin in her eyes. She seemed to be chagrined that she put the cart before the horse. If you didn't get the instruction from Yunwoo today, I'm afraid that one day, this mistake will kill you. As soon as the woman's words were finished, those people around who had been listening quietly could not help showing the expression of a sudden realization, especially other killers, with obvious chagrin on their faces. They are also members of the killer corps. Naturally, they learn this move. Many of them keep practicing in order to improve their speed and agility. Therefore, many people have also made the same mistake. They didn't realize it in the past training. However, when they listen to the instructions today, they all reflect on their own mistakes. You're smart. Yunwoo nodded in appreciation. The woman was very happy to be praised, and she was more respectful to Yunwoo. Now she saluted Yunwoo in front of everyone. Thank you for your advice, my subordinates have been taught. Cloud Dance chuckles, and then another figure comes forward. It's me, it's me. This is a member of the Yun family army. It seems that he has been waiting for a long time. Now, seeing that the female killer's instruction is over, he rushes over for fear that he will be preempted by others. Report to the chief. I'm Lin Sheng, number 7, Team 1, 13th Regiment of Yunjiajin. I have a question to ask. Ask the leader for instructions. Lin Sheng's face was flushed and said nervously. The loud voice uttered serious words, which immediately caused the well-intentioned laughter of the surrounding crowd. Some people saw that some soldiers were on the stage, and the rest of the soldiers also raised their ears to listen. Cloud Dance mouth corner smoked to smoke, in the heart was amused by this upright soldier. Hearing the laughter of the people around, I saw that the soldier was more shy. Chief, I am in the realm of Wuzong now, but it's hard to beat people in the same realm. Moreover, some powerful Wuzuan masters can even draw with me. Chief, why? The soldier said with a simple and honest face and chagrin. Cloud Dance squinted at him, then raised a hand, a palm on his shoulder, a pure force directly into the body of the soldier. The soldier felt as if he was wrapped in a warm current. However, after a moment, the force walked around his body and then withdrew. It's worthy of being the leader. The fighting spirit is different from ours. The soldier looked at the Cloud Dance and slowly took back his hand. He couldn't help exclaiming, Chief, are you really purple fighting spirit? Cloud Dance did not answer this, but began to talk about his cultivation. Your body's meridians have been opened up in many places, and I found something special in your body. I think there must have been some opportunities to greatly improve your cultivation speed. The soldier scratched his head embarrassed and said, It's true. I got a pill 2 years ago, so. Yunwoo nodded, that's right. At that time, you had a chance to greatly improve your strength, which was originally a good thing, but you must have been dazed by joy at that time and failed to lay a good foundation, which led to your rapid progress, but your strength was not very good. So some Wuzuan realms can also be tied with you. What you need to do now is not to continue to make an upward impact, but to stop and cultivate your present realm and fight steadily. The soldier suddenly realized, I see. Thank you for your guidance. After that, the soldier was ready to leave with a grateful face and wanted to give the opportunity to others, but the Clinker Cloud Dance suddenly stopped him. Wait a minute. Cloud Dance said, then the palm turned, a black pill appeared in the palm. The pill is mediocre. It doesn't seem to be different from the previous one. If you take this back and take it in your next practice, it will help you to consolidate your foundation. As for the pills that were given that day, you will keep it. You don't have to eat it for the time being. Otherwise, your strength will be in vain. In this way, the officer was more grateful, and hurriedly took the pill from Yunwoo's hand and repeatedly said thanks. Thank you, Chief. Around the officers and men have emerged envious eyes to look at the person who left, did not expect the leader so good, not only personally guide their progress, but also spared no effort to give pills, which is more responsible than any boss. The leader and me. Chief, please help me see what I'm going to do. Chief. For a moment, people's enthusiasm was directly stimulated, and those who had some questions came forward to ask. Those who had been ordered to leave with adoration on their faces immediately went to find a place to practice. The atmosphere in the martial arts arena was unprecedentedly high. When Gao Yu took people to the arena, he saw a scene of fire. What's going on? Haven't they all met the leader? Make Xian Dai with Gao Yu sighed, staring at everything in front of, can't believe. Gao Yu said with a helpless smile, you don't know the charm of the leader. Even if many people here haven't seen the leader before, are you worried that the leader can't take them in these days? You know, the leader is in the Wuling realm now. These little bastards will only treat her more like a god. Make Xian Dai Leng Leng finally showed a clear smile, also, our leader is like this. That's what makes them proud even if they are subordinates. They pushed away the crowd and walked towards Yunwu. Although they were embarrassed to disturb the enthusiasm of the soldiers and killers, they still had to do so. Chief! At a certain distance from Yunwu, Gao Yu yelled. Cloud Dance turns ahead to see, the sharp eye saw to stand in Gao Yu's side of Make Xian Dai, although haven't seen for a long time, but still one eye then recognized. Cloud Dance heart move, immediately understand, the news of 10,000 Beast Gate has been brought back. At the moment, Yunwu turned to the soldiers who were still around him and said, this is the end of the day. It's a long time to come. Go and practice yourself first. I have some important things to deal with. There was a pity in everyone's eyes, but when they heard that Yunwu had something important to deal with, they didn't bother anymore. Ah! It's the commander coming back. Some people's sharp eyes toward the Cloud Dance just saw the place to see, can't help but exclaim. Ling Xuanxian has been gone for several days. Although we don't know what they are going to do, we have heard that when he comes back, it's not far away from the time of the official war with the Beast Gate. Chief! Are we going to war? Someone asked with bright eyes. It looked like a big fight. Yunwu smiles and doesn't answer. Everything hasn't been decided yet. She can't shake the morale of the army. Ah, what are you in a hurry? Anyway, you have to fight sooner or later. It doesn't depend on 1 or 2 days. We should seize the time to improve our strength. That's right. If there's a war tomorrow, I'll have to take the time to practice today. Maybe I can make a breakthrough tonight. It will be a big help then. Many people around nodded as soon as this remark came out. That's right, let's go. Practice, wait for me, I'll go too. Xiao Lu, come on, let's practice and see what's not enough. For a moment, the people who had just been around scattered in turn. The discipline of the Yun family army and the killer regiment is strict. All of them are carefully selected. They are all righteous people. Knowing that they can't disturb the leader at this time, they say goodbye one after another, find good partners and leave each other. When everyone left, Yunwu came to the 2 men. I've seen the leader. Make Xian Dai respectfully say, just want to give Cloud Dance salute, but suddenly feel a soft power directly to own up, that power has no malice, but let a person can't resist. Make Xian Tianxin shocked, unexpectedly the leader's strength progressed so fast. Where does Yunwu have time to care about those empty rights? Now it's not easy to look forward to the return of Ling Xuanxian. I can't wait to ask, have you inquired? And all the brothers who went out came back. On that day, Ling Xuanxian left the valley with some people, but the date of his return was a few days later than expected. Yunwu couldn't help but care about those people's lives and whether he met the people of Wanwoman outside. As soon as he saw Yunwu, Ling Xuanxian didn't do anything about it. Now he didn't stick to the common rights. He nodded and said, I've inquired about it. The leader is relieved. Although there are some things on the way, fortunately there are no casualties. Now everyone has come back and is waiting outside the leader's house. Cloud Dance this just relaxed a breath, that's good. Chief, there are many people here. Let's talk about it later. Make Xian Dai say. Yunwu nodded, and then the 3 went to the place where Yunwu lived. The Valley of the Beast Gate is full of the spirit of killing. The people of the Beast Gate are walking cautiously towards the mountain. Although there are only 7 people, they all feel like a very powerful force. The people of the Beast Gate are very careful and think that everything here is not so simple. It seems that what the gang said to us before is right. There are people on the wanted list in this mountain," said a man in black, looking around at the dark trees and stones. The two groups of men in black walked along the ridge towards the mountain. "I can feel that there is a very strong force here." People patrolling outside the valley yesterday said that they felt that there was a very strong force near here last night, but they didn't dare to move forward because they didn't know what it was. Long Qingxie and others listened to them quietly, but no one said anything, but they were more sure that the people who broke the door yesterday were the people who came from the beast sect to inquire about the news. We quietly hold the weapons in our hands, waiting for the men of the beast gate to gradually come to the encirclement of their 7 people. People in black, in the dark, gradually move the pace, slowly walking towards the middle of the mountain. In fact, the mountain is not high. We can walk to the top of the mountain soon, but the people of the beast gate are too nervous, so they walk very slowly. Chang Guangji also quietly lurks in one of the places, looking at the front of the beast gate team, gradually close to himself. But the group of people in front of him were lurking in the trees, but no one acted. If they didn't act, Chang Guangji didn't dare to act, so that he was very anxious. After all, the mountain is his own base. Although it is not a valuable place, it is also his living place. Not only himself, but also his brothers. If they were destroyed by the people of the beast gate, how much would they lose? Thinking like this, I felt anxious and suddenly broke a branch beside my hand. Suddenly, all the people in black turned around. Chang Guangji's position has been completely exposed. "Who's that over there? Come out!" a man in black yelled. All the men in black had drawn out their weapons and pointed in the direction of Chang Guangji. "It's broken." Shangguan thought that the secret way was not good. Without thinking about it, he jumped out of the trees and waved a sword at the man in black. At this time, I was surprised to find that all the people had come out of the forest and chopped at the people of the beast gate. They want to catch all the people in black with the fastest speed and the least movement. 8 people, that's enough. In the blink of an eye, more than half of the people in black had been killed on the ground. "Thank you for your help." Chang Guangji was about to cry. He waved his weapon and chopped the man in black to death. Some people in black still want to turn their heads and go back to the city to give information, but they have been chopped to death before they can call for help. 2 teams of 20 men had been wiped out in an instant. We stood on the ridge, threw the bodies into the trees in the valley. "It's no longer safe here." Nan Gongyi said, put the sword away, turned and walked towards the grass village. "It seems that we have to take down the branch of beast as soon as possible. I think it's the best place to live." The dragon gives evil a smile. People around them shake their heads helplessly. Within 1 day, all the people came back to the stockade. The summoning order had been handed over to all the forces smoothly. 2 days later, they were ordered to come to the upper boundary through the teleportation array and meet in the valley hundreds of miles away from Linghu. On the first day of waiting for the meeting, Long Qingxie takes Shangguan and all of them to the branch of Wan women near Linghu. When we came to Linghu, everyone knew the magic of Linghu from Long Qingxie's mouth. But I can't help but open my mouth. The spiritual power here is too abundant. If I practice here, I'm afraid it can be worth countless miracles. We looked at each other and saw each other's deep desire to get the Linghu Lake. We looked around and had a detailed understanding of the situation before we came back to the stockade. In the stockade, members of Chongguan Group are discussing the name of Chongguan Group. When Long Qingxie and others came back to the stockade, everyone was very excited. "Welcome them in. You can tell them your name to Long Qingxie and Chang Guangji." All the people had a big head. Long Qingxie stood in front of the crowd, waved his hand to let everyone stop talking, and then said, "I hope you don't focus on the name, but on how to expand your power and improve your realm." In a word, everyone was very embarrassed and silent. "Tomorrow we will decide to join all forces and attack the branch of the beast sect together," he said, looking at Chongguan Group's subordinates. "From tomorrow on, what you should do is to recruit people and make the group powerful as soon as possible." Turning to look at Chang Guangji, he said, "Come and have a look with me tomorrow." Chongguang nodded in a hurry, but he was thinking about the shock and surprise when he went to send the summoner to meet with him. Because they saw that the dragon's evil troops were all so powerful and talented. Every force was very excited when they saw the summoning order of dragons evil. It seems that this person is really the target to follow. Before dawn the next day, we had packed up and headed for Linghu. In less than half a day, I came to the mountain near Linghu. Under the leadership of the people who came to meet me, I came to the valley where the major forces gathered. Countless troops have been stationed in the valley. However, because of the lush mountains and low vegetation, all the teams can hide in it perfectly with a little concealment. Moreover, these forces are well trained and will not make any noise on weekdays. Chong Guangji followed Long Qingxie and walked slowly into the mountains. Boss, last night we sneaked into the team of the Beast Gate, and we won it quickly, but I think if we don't take action soon, it will be very troublesome. The guide said, and all the way reported the situation of various forces. Long Qingxie and others listened, did not speak much. It was not until he entered the camp that Chong Guangji saw the tents of these teams in the looming trees. But there was no movement, but everyone could feel that there were so many people here, and they were so powerful that the air was a little dull. Boss, this way, please. The guide took several people all the way to a tent. After a while, he had already come to the door, and the man bowed and backed out. Long Qingxie reaches out his hand to open the door of the tent. Suddenly, the leaders of the major forces sitting in the tent stand up one after another and salute several people. Long Qingxie asked the people behind him to sit down, and then they all sat down together. Today, let's quickly discuss how to attack the branch of Beast Gate. It's a straight to the point. And everyone knows that now is not the time to talk about the family. They all look serious, looking at the dragon, waiting for his next words. We went to investigate the location of the branch of the Gate of Beasts, and built it according to the lake. That is to say, we can only attack from the front, but we can't waste 30,000 teams. But now if we can only attack from the front, it's very bad for us. Seductive said. Everyone was silent. Yes, frontal attack is equal to giving the enemy the opportunity to see everyone, and around the base, there is a very open flat bottom, there is no place to hide. If you kill from 100 miles away, I'm afraid there is not much life left in front of you. Beast Gate is really smart. Everyone was lost in thought, but now there is only one way to go. The other side of the lake is already the edge of the fairyland. There is no way to get around. And now there are 20,000 people stationed here in the 10,000 Beast Gate. It can be seen that this place is very important for the 10,000 Beast Gate. Shengguan said. Nangong Yi lowered his head and pondered for a moment, frowned slightly, and said, maybe we can dive into the lake and wait for the opportunity. The main hall of the Beast Gate branch is not very big, so we can still get close to the lake water on both sides. We can use the people who dive into the water on both sides to attract the sight of most of the Beast Gate people, and then let the main forces invade from the main gate. With that, Nanganji picked up a pile of small stones on the ground and put them on the table to show you. Seeing this, Chong Guangji quickly took out a map he had already taken with him and said, here, this is the map of the branch of 10,000 beasts. I asked the people in my regiment to draw it. Nangong Yi smiles at him, takes the map, spreads it on the table, and then asks everyone to come around and explain to them one by one. You see, you can first find some people who are good at underwater. First, let some people pretend to dive into the lake to attract the attention of some people from the beast sect. Then another part of people who are good at water will take the opportunity to go into the water and hide. Then, look for an entrance under the main hall of this branch. Nangong Yi looked down and thought about it, and continued, if there is no accident, there will be an exit below the palace built by the water side for temporary escape, so we must find some careful people to enter the water. Then he turned his hand and pointed to the other side. This side is the same as that side, but remember not to do it at the same time. Next, let everyone rush out of the woods on both sides and fight towards the side of the main hall. If there is no one blocking on the side, then move on, and the main gate will not move. If both sides are blocked, then the main gate will wait for the opportunity. If the underwater people enter the main hall temple, then continue to attack from inside. Raised an eye to see Long Qing evil etc. Wei, how? Everyone was sitting here listening carefully, and his eyes were shining. Sure enough, this is a good way. With 3 hands to prepare and 4 forces to attack at the same time, Long Qingxie couldn't help cheering in his heart. It looks like we can do that. Long Qingxie smiles, pinches his fist, turns to look at the leaders of the forces around him and says, I hope everyone will cooperate better tomorrow and solve the battle as soon as possible. Everyone should be in unison. This night, everyone did not close their eyes, thinking carefully about the next day's coming battle. They couldn't sleep for a long time. If tomorrow's first battle can be successful, then the battle with the Beast Gate will officially start. The next morning, before the sun rose above the horizon, the camp was dark. 30,000 people in the camp have quietly come out of the barracks and gathered at their respective barracks gates. One night, I thought about countless battles in my heart, but when we really gathered together, we were still very nervous. After all, after training for so long, I've been working hard to beat the Beast Gate. Now, it's really coming. Everyone's mood is not the same, we all stand in front of the camp, waiting for the news of the boss. The leaders of all forces were gathered in a tent. They lit the dim candle and sat together. I'll distribute our plan to attack the Beast Gate today. Long Qingxie is serious and looks into the bright eyes of the people around him. So, everyone was silent, listening to the dragon's evil spirit assigning tasks to everyone. If you find out the brothers with good water quality, call them in first. The dragon poured out his heresy, and then the elders ordered him to go down. In a short time, a group of about 100 people had already run to the people. Among them, those with relatively high fighting ability and realm will come out again. 18 people came out and stood in front of Long Qingxie and others. Everyone reported their own realm, which was pretty good. Okay, the remaining 82 people, cover 18 people to dive into the water. After the distribution of a group, Long Qingxie looks at the eldest brothers below. 10 groups of 3,000. Group 123, attack the east side of the main hall. Group 456, attack the west side of the main hall. Group 789, cover us, attack the gate of the main hall. Group 10, prepare bow and arrow, long-range protection. Orderly distribution, the boss has soon been on the distribution, and then soon, everyone has been assembled. Because of the previous training and distribution, all forces almost had no disputes and contradictions, and quickly completed the task. So after careful allocation, everyone has finished the collection in batches. Chang Guangji was shocked. He looked at this group of people who were stationed all over the world without any intersection, so quietly and tacitly assigned the task of Dragon's Evil. He felt that it was hard to tell. He thought, if he could do it, how proud it would be. Long Qingxie turned to look at Chang Guangji. Chang Guangji was still immersed in the rigorous cooperation of the team. He said, strengthen your team as soon as possible. We need you very much. Need us. Chang Guangji's heart is about to burst. A long and narrow valley is full of people. If you don't look carefully, you think it's a giant dragon sleeping in the valley. The horizon has gradually had a light morning light, a touch of cool and dry heat will fill the whole valley. At night, several small groups of 10,000 beast troops who came to inspect were quickly solved by the people hiding in the valley. As you all know, maybe soon the people of the Beast Gate will come to this valley. The sun is still slowly rising, but the team, which has been divided into groups, quietly sneaks in from the woods in the valley towards the nearby Linghu Lake. The group that wants to enter the water has left first and is ambushing next to the Linghu Lake. But still immersed in the color of dawn, the branch of the Beast Gate is filled with a faint black air, which is extremely gloomy. Chang Guangji followed Long Qingxie and others, pursed his mouth and was very serious. We are getting closer to Linghu. Around the Linghu Lake, there is a smog. The whole Linghu Lake, the silver-white Lingqi and the black fog of the Beast Gate make the whole Linghu Lake immersed in a strange place. Under Long Qingxie's nod, those people who had already lurked in the vicinity of Linghu had already jumped down, almost without any sound, like a fish, diving underwater. However, the Beast Gate is not a vegetarian after all. The sound of entering the water alerted the Beast Gate patrol team. Suddenly, there was a lot of noise, about 100 people, and several patrol teams had a conflict. However, we have successfully covered the 18 people diving underwater, and the rest of the people, quickly destroy all the people of the Beast Gate. Dragon Qing Xie was very satisfied and waved his hand behind him. Suddenly, the 3 teams behind him had rushed to the 2 side doors and the main door of the Beast Gate from 3 directions. It seems that people in the 10,000 Beast Gate are alert when they enter the water. Suddenly, there are countless people in black in the 10,000 Beast Gate, and they fight together. All of a sudden, there was a lot of noise. There was a lot of noise around the Linghu Lake, and the sun gradually rose in the air. Some of the people who were lying in ambush around the Linghu Lake were already sweating. Everyone is very careful, no one has extra action. In the branch of 10,000 beasts, a large number of men of 10,000 beasts poured out from the 3 gates, like a black flood. But the people here are not vegetarians. Under the fierce attack, the people of the Beast Gate began to retreat. Soon, the east side gate was about to hit the door. Dragon tilts evil to turn ahead to see behind several partners, evil a smile, way, we also should act? Several people took out their weapons one after another and flew to the main gate of the Beast Gate. The sudden attack of powerful forces made the Beast Gate panic. Many people of the Beast Gate rushed back to report to the branch. Behind a stone dozens of kilometers behind, 3,000 people with bows and arrows have encircled the main hall of the branch of the 10,000 Beast Gate for half a circle. At this time, they have begun to shoot arrows in the direction of the 10,000 Beast Gate with bows and arrows. All of a sudden, 10,000 animal door this side begins to break up like tide again. Chong Guangji follows you. He looks at the arrow and inserts it into the heart of the man in black. He immediately exclaims. But now it's too late to exclaim, because the Beast Gate around him has come forward to wave a knife. Chongguang felt a cool wind when he was in a hurry. He stepped back and frowned. He suddenly realized that he couldn't continue to be distracted. Pick up their own épée, toward the front of a loud drink, stabbed in the past. Under the cover of the large army, the overwhelming number of people soon rushed to the front door. Looking at the people around them, they were not injured. Everyone breathed, waved and went on. It's really strange, why don't the people of the Beast Gate send out those people who have a very good realm? Chong Guangji asked, but no one answered him, because everyone was fighting fiercely. And Chong Guangji, also gradually understand, in this group of people around, blood boiling forward. At this time, the branch of 10,000 beasts has entered the abyss. In the valley where the Yuns live. There is no luxury decoration and supplies in the temporary residence, and the people here at this time have no mind to care about these. The residence built for Yunwu is different from other places. It has a separate room for the main hall. Although it is simple, the area is large enough to accommodate dozens of people. At this moment, Yunwu is sitting on the first seat, with Ling Qingshui and Gao Yu sitting on both sides. All the 13 generals of the 13th Regiment of Yunjia Army and all the captains of the Killer Regiment are present, except for these people, including Yunwu's father, some of the officers and soldiers sent out to inquire about the news, and people with some rights. The room, which used to be quite large, was crowded at this time. In the middle of the room, there was a stool that had been prepared for a long time. People were waiting quietly. Finally, after all the stools in the room are full, Xiantian walks to the middle stool. With his appearance, people can't help but feel a little nervous, because everyone knows that maybe today is the day to decide whether to fight with the Beast Gate. Make Xian Dai walk to the position next to, but didn't sit down, on the contrary is standing to Cloud Dance line a gift. Don't be polite. What's the result of the investigation? Cloud Dance cold voice rings out, these things she always don't like to say, compared with etiquette, what she cares more about is what makes Xian Dai say next. Ling Xuanchen just sat down and said, it has been basically investigated. Many forces in the upper world are poisoned by the beast sect, so they fight. I'm afraid there are some difficulties. Hear this sentence, the hearts of the people can't help clatter, but did not speak, just quietly listened to make Xiande continue to say. In the upper world, the Beast Gate itself is a very powerful existence, not to mention that after such a long time, the operation of the Beast Gate has been carried out for many years, and now many places have infiltrated their forces, even can say the whole upper bound is in their hands. Make Xiande's words a finish, the whole room all quiet down, even breathing sounds seem to have been put light, heavy heart shrouded in everyone's heart. All along, we all know that the Beast Gate is hard to deal with, but we didn't expect that it was so hard to deal with. The whole upper world fell into their hands. What a terrible situation. Everyone knows that the Beast Gate must be removed, but now, they start to wonder if it's the best time to start. However, immediately after, make Xiande's words but more let them feel shocked. Chief, I think it is imperative to attack the Beast Gate. What? A stone stirs up 1,000 waves. Everyone is shocked by what Xiantian says. It's clear that the Beast Gate is too powerful to deal with. Now it says that we must deal with them immediately. What's the reason? Sergeant, this is not a joke. You just said that the whole upper world belongs to the Beast Gate. How can we fight now? Yes, military strategist, although our strength is not weak, it is too difficult to confront the whole upper boundary. We must give time to recruit more people. Others just turned around and asked Yunwu, Chief, what do you think? Do you think you can fight the Beast Gate now? Cloud Dance Light looked at the crowd one eye, the voice clear cooling incomparably firm said, Hit. Don't you think it's time? But in my opinion, if you wait any longer, you will never be able to wait for the time you think. Cloud Dance Light said, one by one for the public analysis. First, it's not a day or two for the people of the Beast Gate to infiltrate into various forces. They have made complete preparations. One day, when they feel that the time is right, they will officially start their acceptance plan. At that time, do you think we will have backhand power? Of course, we need time to develop, but the Beast Gate also needs time. It's not sure who is faster. Second, the one human base is seriously damaged now. It will take some time for it to recover its former vitality, and the new energy they found to provide energy for them is my friend. How can I not save myself? What's more, even if it's not selfish, it's also the best chance to attack the Beast Gate for so many years. If you don't do it now, when will it be? Cloud Dance Eyes Burning said, clear voice is not big, but listen to and everyone's ears only feel can't refute. But the chief, now this situation, how do you want to fight? Someone asked weakly. Although they believe in the ability of the military division, they believe in the ability of the leader. After all, they don't just fight. Is it hard to fight directly? I don't know how to die then. Cloud Dance didn't answer his words, on the contrary is to turn ahead to see to make Xiande talk about the specific force division of the Beast Gate in the upper world. Yes. Make Xiande should weigh, then toward behind of several people waved, immediately someone came forward, don't know where to take out a map. Make Xiande people will stool down, map directly spread on the ground, so that everyone can see, this began to explain. The power of one human is mainly centered on one human base, with the focus on spreading to the east. All the countries there are in the palm of one human, and the royal families are also arranged with people, followed by the west. More than 80% of the countries have been recovered, and only a few big countries are still resisting, but they are useless. And in the south and the north is the best area, and it must be the last place where the 10,000 Beast Gates started. According to the investigation, the forces sent out by the 10,000 Beast sect are differentiated according to the size of these countries. Among the great powers, there will be 3 or 5 powerful Wuzong. As for Emperor Wu, we haven't found much yet. We only found 3 Wudi in the 3 countries in the western region. It seems that they are preparing to march into the western region. Generally, small countries only send people below Wuzuan. As for the troops, the minions of the Beast Gate are not strong enough, but the tricky thing is that their moves are too weird and need to be paid attention to. However, we are also the people who have fought with them many times. It's not difficult for us to fight. I'm afraid our partners will find it harder. These are the distribution of the forces of the 10,000 Beast Gate in the upper world. There are some more detailed ones that are inconvenient to disclose. I will make arrangements when I have made specific arrangements for which way to attack which place. Make Xian Dai finish saying these words, then look up at Cloud Dance, waiting for her instruction. Cloud Dance looked at the map, in the heart to make Xian Dai said a few times thinking, but did not directly arrange, instead is raised head to ask to the people present. Do you have any ideas, generals? All the people here have the title of general or above. In addition to training, they will also be taught something about leading soldiers to fight. Although Yunwu has some ideas in mind, he also knows that one's own wisdom is not as good as that of 100 families, so he has a question. Chief, I have some ideas. A general came up first and said. Cloud Dance nodded, motioned him to say directly. The south and the north are the places where the 10,000 Beast Gate is preparing to attack at present, and in the upper boundary, these two places are undoubtedly the safest places now. Our base is also in the north, so it's better to take the north as the center and fight all the way south, keep the north first, and then make the next plan. As soon as the general's words were finished, many people nodded with approval. It was obvious that they all had such an idea. Chief, I don't think that's right. Another general came forward and said, although it is true that the north is easier to fight than other places, if we take action, we are afraid that we will be immediately discovered by one human, and the base we have worked hard will be recaptured by one human. Cloud Dance has just been silent, at this time heard the general's words, this just nodded, asked, then in your opinion, what's a good idea? In my subordinate's opinion, it is better to fight guerrilla warfare than to fight head-on. Guerrilla warfare? Yes. The general saw someone's confused voice, so he turned to the others and said. Our strength is really strong now, but don't forget that the whole upper world is the home of the Beast Gate. Although we have investigated so many things, who knows if they have any strength behind them? And to say the least, even if their real strength is indeed the same as what we found out before, we will be defeated by the enemy on 3 sides after we occupy the north, and we will not be able to defeat them at that time. But guerrilla warfare is not so easy to fight. The general's extradition put forward before the idea retorted, as you said, the whole upper boundary is the force of 10,000 Beast Gates, and naturally there are their islands everywhere. Wherever we go, we can always meet their people, not to mention guerrilla warfare, but when we come out of this valley, we will reveal our whereabouts. After all, we are soldiers, not killers. They can hide their bodies, but we can't. In this way, it's better to fight head-on. Because of the difficulty, do you choose to die? Isn't guerrilla warfare death? The two generals argued, and the other generals were divided into 2 groups, supporting the 2 men. Cloud Dance looked at the past, only felt that there were almost the same number of people who supported the 2 views, and immediately shook his head helplessly. Gao Yu, what do you think? Yunwu turns to look at Gao Yu, who has been sitting beside him and doesn't speak. He didn't seem to support confrontation or guerrilla warfare. He didn't speak until he heard Yunwu ask him. Chief, actually, I think what they said is reasonable. Oh. Cloud Dance picked eyebrow, so say, actually you also are not support. Gao Yu chuckled and said, you are the leader. You can understand me best. Cloud Dance the corner of the mouth a hook, is preparing to speak, make Xian Dai jump directly to come over. General. I can tell you. You don't want to take the army to fight a little bit. Don't forget what the leader said. It's her friend Xiao Mu who was arrested this time. Xiao Mu, what a rare energy stone. Whether it's selfishness or destruction of the Beast Gate, the most important thing we should do is to rescue him first. In this way, the Beast Gate will be attacked from both sides, and it will be very easy for us to fight at that time. Make Xian Dai a words finish saying, Gao Yu helpless smile, I haven't opened my mouth, you know what I want to say. Well, I don't know what you're going to say. Make Xian Dai white he one eye, you certainly want to take the army a little bit to fight past, fight ambush war, since the people of 10,000 Beast Gate are everywhere, give full play to the advantages of the combination of the army and killers, a little bit of remnant of their power, so as to avoid the frontline combat, and can avoid the long-term wandering of guerrilla warfare brought about by fatigue and injury. But if you use this method, I'm afraid that when we defeat the Beast Gate, Xiao Mu will die long ago. But if you don't, do you have a better way? Gao Yu stares at him and says that his method is hard to come up with. He thinks it is the most perfect method before making Xian Tian say it. I don't have a good way. Make Xian Dai unconvinced of say, but you see, isn't the leader always didn't mention? I guess there must be something in the leader's mind. Cloud Dance Aleng, how the problem again to own body. As early as when making Xiantian jump out, the noisy generals below have been quiet. They take it for granted that Gao Yu's method is the best. For them, they have no feelings with Xiao Mu. Even if they give up in order to defeat the Beast Gate, it's not a heinous thing. But a listen to make Xian Dai say Cloud Dance still have a way, at the moment suddenly a vision all toward Cloud Dance cast over. Cloud Dance's eyes swept over the crowd, and then slowly said, the confrontation with the Beast Gate is imperative, and it is also the most urgent at present, but the same urgent thing is to rescue Xiao Mu. The best and fastest way to rescue Xiao Mu is to go directly to their headquarters and grab him. However, this will certainly cause a great disturbance. I'm afraid that the Beast Gate will not be so easy for people to succeed. It's not advisable to attack directly. So my idea is that I will take 2 teams of killers to go, and I will be responsible for leading Shangguan's Hung away, and those 2 teams of killers will take the opportunity to sneak in and bring Xiao Mu back. But Chief, can you do it alone? The strength of Shangguan's Hung is too strong. It doesn't mean that we can get away with it. Make Xian Dai frown to say. I'll take another part of the soldiers and take care of him. As for the diversion, you can rest assured that as long as I am in the place, Shangguan's Hung will try every means to kill me, not afraid that he will not take the bait. As soon as the words came out, many people nodded. Qing Shui, please arrange the people who will go with me. Yunwu turned to Len Qingshui and said, you don't have to go to the whole Wuzong realm. 1/3 of it is okay. If the strength of others is too low, don't do it. This task is too important. If the strength is too low, it's easy to die. Len Qingshui nodded and said, don't worry, I'll make a good arrangement. Gao Yu, you temporarily make up a team of 100 people for me. Remember, only those with high strength can do it. The top ones only need to give me half of them. The most important thing among these people is their agility. They are mainly responsible for holding up Shangguan's Hung. They can't fight hard. If anyone is good at this, they can arrange for me. Yes. Chief Gao Yu immediately nodded. The first thing is settled, then Chief, our fight. Make Xian Dai smile of opening to ask away. He knew that Yunwu had his own consideration in mind, and this consideration must be more comprehensive than other people's, so that he was worthy of being their leader. Our current strength is indeed not enough for confrontation. Whether it is guerrilla warfare or fighting directly in the past, it is a confrontation, so it is not advisable. What General Gao said is more like a sneak attack. So after I went to rescue Xiao Mu and came back, I followed General Gao's words to fight an ambush. Based on the north, we should find out the daily whereabouts of those people, especially those who are in charge of controlling various countries. We should not rush into the city in a big way. We just need to destroy the army and forces of those people, and try not to disturb others. But Chief, are we going to fight like this all the time? Someone asked. What they expect in their hearts is to have a fair fight with the Beast Gate. If they can only fight an ambush like this, it would be a bit chilly. Don't worry, it won't last long. Cloud Dance Mouth a Hook said with a smile, it's just that we are not strong enough, so we need to do this. When our helpers arrive, we can naturally change away. Help? Everyone said in surprise. Do you think that in so many days since I left, I only brought you pills when I came back? Cloud Dance's eyes narrowed and counted carefully in her heart. It seems that all the places she went through have established a strong foundation for the future attack on the Beast Gate. Next, I should contact them. Chief, did you invite other experts to come? I said, how come the leader didn't have a friend when he came back? He really brought it. What kind of helper is the leader? Chief, are those helpers good? Is it also from the human world? Or is it the upper bound? The generals looked at Yunwu with bright eyes, hoping that she could give an accurate reply. But Yunwu just shook his head with a smile and said nothing. Qingshui, when will the people arranged for me be ready? Leng Qingshui thought about it for a while and said definitely, it can be arranged today. Gao Yu, what about you? Back to the leader, today. Cloud Dance nodded with satisfaction and said, okay, let them gather at midnight tonight, and I will take them to enter the headquarters of the Beast Gate. Yes, Gao Yu and Ling Qingshui answered in a loud voice. While I'm away, you'll study the next layout. Everything is mainly arranged by General Gao. Before I come back, I must make a good plan for the fight. After Xiao Mu is rescued, the Beast Gate will catch us quickly, so we must start the fight as soon as possible. Do you hear me? I hear you. The generals replied in a loud voice. From now on, today's battle discussion is over. From midnight tonight, the prelude to the battle with the Beast Gate begins. What Yunwu doesn't know is that the outcome of her expected rescue of Xiao Mu is so different from the reality that she almost can't accept it. Another base in the upper border. Long Qingxie, holding an épée, stood on a stone step at the door and looked down the step. There was chaos under the step. The people of the Beast Gate and their own people were fighting together. Turn around and look at the side doors of the 10,000 Beast Gate. The side doors on both sides are still fighting. Although the casualties are not great, the progress is very slow. I'll go to the east side gate, he said. As a result, the figure leaped to the east side door. Shengguan laughed, looked at the gate of the west, and said to the people around him, I'll go to the west to help. Let's meet in the Beast Gate. Nangong Yi turns to see Qi Yi's beside him. Qi Yi stabs the man in black in front of him to death, and then runs to the front. Be careful. Nangong Yi said, looking down at the blood-stained with white clothes. He frowned slightly, pursed his mouth, and looked at the front door. Suddenly, he was stunned. Because his third eye saw that in the main gate of the Beast Gate, a strong team came out towards the gate of the Beast Gate. Watch the front door. All of a sudden, Nangong Yi makes a serious voice, which makes everyone around him feel stunned. He turns his head and looks at the place he points to with Nangong Yi's eyes. The gate is in the morning sun, but it is still not opened. Long Qingxie turned his head and looked at the rising sun in the east. At this time, a faint smile rose from the corner of his mouth and said, it seems that we should withdraw. Ah. Boss, how about withdrawing? We haven't hit the gate of the Beast Gate yet. Some people around them are puzzled to hear that. How can we finish this battle so smoothly? We have to take our time. Long Qingxie laughed again, and suddenly said to the people around him, inform the leaders of all forces to prepare to retreat. When the man heard this, he ran quickly behind him and began to say the notice all over the place. This group of people were really trained strictly. Before I could ask why, I saw the whole army, like the tide, rapidly retreating towards the valley. Nangong Yi and others looked at the army retreating quickly in front of them. With a smile, they ran back quickly. I said that Long Qingxie could not solve this battle so easily. Shengguan laughed and leaped in the direction of the retreat of the army. If you don't torture them, the dragon will not be reconciled. Meng Bai also burst out laughing, a few people talking and laughing, very happy and relaxed. When the realm master of the Beast Gate came out, he just saw that the army on the side of Dragon Qingxie had retreated towards the valley, and he was stunned there. We looked at each other and didn't understand what happened. But in the valley opposite, there are lots of trees. Of course, these people know that the people who can fight with the Beast Gates so openly must have a lot of talent, so they dare not rush to explore, so they have to quickly return to the hall and close the gate. Everyone, quickly returned to the valley, after the assembly, began to count the number of people, and finally reported to Long Qingxie and others. The leaders of various forces, together with Long Qingxie and others, sat in the camp and looked at the list in front of them. It seems that we have not lost much this time. Long Qingxie touched his lips and showed a smile, but the smile was strange in front of the crowd, which made everyone shiver. I think I can play another way in the afternoon. Long Qingxie turned his head and looked at the people around him. His eyes were crooked and evil. I don't know what the 18 people under the water have found. The crowd began to whisper. Chongguang went out in a hurry and ordered those people to come to the camp. 18 people came to the camp, but no one was injured, which made Long Qingxie very satisfied. He said, "You did a good job, but did you find anything of great value? These people are still a little stiff." At this time, when they see Long Qingxie and others, they are even more nervous. "Look at me and I'll see you." Finally, a young man who didn't look very old stood up and said timidly, "Well, when I was under the water, I found that the whole building went deep into the water. It went all the way down, but there was water under the water. It can be seen that there must be an exit under the hall." Then he touched his chest and pursed his mouth, as if hesitating whether to say it or not. Then, after a moment's silence, he still said, "And soon after I entered the lake, I felt a steady stream of aura pouring into my meridians. The whole person was boiling, and there was a faint sign of breakthrough." At this time, the remaining 17 people around also nodded in agreement. At this moment, the leaders of the major forces were all surprised and began to talk about it separately. "It seems that we have to occupy the Linghu Lake." Shangguan laughs and praises, "If you practice by this Linghu Lake and then bathe in the lake water once a day, I'm afraid it will be 10 times faster than our daily practice." "Tomorrow, then." Long Qingxie paused, looked at the people in the whole camp and said, "Let's play something else." Looking down at the map, Long Qingxie was silent for a moment, and suddenly said, "In the afternoon, we will send 2,000 people, 20 people as a team, 100 teams scattered in this valley. Our goal is to clear all the Beast Gate teams that are patrolling here. How about?" Everyone was puzzled and looked at the dragon, but the dragon didn't explain. He continued, "Then, we sent 3 teams of 500 people to sneak attack near the stronghold of the Beast Gate. Turn your head and look at the people around you. They are all unidentified. We are going to harass the Beast Gate constantly, so that they can't sleep all the time." Long Qingxie laughed, stood up to look at the sun hanging outside, and said, "Just let our team have a rest. Don't be too tired. We can't lose too much after a battle, because we have more important things to do." So in the afternoon, Shangguan, Meng Bai, and Mu Xiuming volunteered to take a team of 500 people to the Hall of the Beast Gate. Because of the battle in the morning, the number of guards at the gate of the Beast Gate has tripled. Countless people in black are turning around with weapons in their hands, looking around cautiously. The Shangguan hiding behind the stone lowered his palm and motioned everyone behind him to get down and not to scare the snake. I said that the people of the Beast Gate are also very good at designing palaces. How can people sneak into such an open place? Around a hand, very dissatisfied whispered. "What's the matter?" These little guards outside the door are all humble little characters. It's no big deal. If the big characters want to come out, it will take a little time, so we have time to escape. But Big Brother, we always fight and run again. It's not the work of an open and above-board person. Open and above-board? Shangguan chuckled and could not help laughing. What's so above-board about fighting? It's all about killing and setting fire. Who's right and who's wrong? Besides, he said after a pause, Shangguan shook his head helplessly and said, "Besides, do you think Dragon Qingxie is a hero? That's what makes fighting interesting." With that, Shangguan suddenly raised his hand and waved back behind him. All of a sudden, the people behind all understood and ran quickly in the direction of the Beast Gate. At this time, it was the shift time of the Beast Gate inspection. The people of the Beast Gate are already the most nervous at this time. They are changing shifts, and they are most relaxed. But all of a sudden, a man in black turned around and looked behind him. Then he saw a group of people running towards this side. He was shocked and said, "Boss. There's a sneak attack. Before I could finish this sentence, I saw that Shengguan suddenly raised his sword and cut down on a man's head. The man in black was quick enough to dodge Shengguan's sword, but his clothes were pierced by Shengguan's sword and hissed. 500 people behind him also came to the front of the beast gate in an instant, and all of them attacked the people in black. The scene was a little chaotic, and the east and west gates were already in the middle of fighting. There was a lot of noise and blood. Looking at the time, it was estimated that the people in the beast gate were about to come out. The officers suddenly called out, "Let's withdraw." All of a sudden, a group of people around, and quickly walked towards the valley, leaving a wailing beast men. He quickly hid in the valley. All the people were lying in ambush in the valley. Many of them were pointing to the mountain in front of him. They didn't know what they were talking about. However, these people did not dare to go into the mountains, because they did not know who was in the mountains. As the sun moved westward, the whole valley was silent, waiting for a second attack. After a while, the people who came out of the gate carried the wounded in front of them into the gate. Shengguan looked at one woman's popularity and burst out laughing in the valley. "It's so fun to play like this." Shengguan and others, with hundreds of men, continued to wait in the mountains not far away. In front of him, at the gate of the branch of the Gate of Beasts, a group of people in black had gathered. They came out of the hall one after another and gathered at the gate. "It looks like something's going to happen again." Shengguan frowned and looked at the group of people. However, he turned his head and saw Meng Bai quietly come out from the trees over there. He squatted beside himself and said, "It seems that they are going to search the mountain. It's finally decided." Shengguan said with a smile, "I've only come here twice, but I'm already in a hurry. It's not very good." Meng Bai also laughed, turned to look at the team around him, and said with a smile, "You say, can we kill all the people who come in to inspect?" "I don't think it's impossible." Mu Xiuming's voice suddenly came out from the side. When they turned their heads, Mu Xiuming was squatting beside Shengguan. Looking at the people in front of him, they divided into several teams and came towards the mountain. "I have told the brothers over there that as long as they see the beast gate, they will kill them all without saying a word." Mu Xiuming said, "It seems that there are not many people coming here. Maybe they just want these people to be cannon fodder. If these people can't get in or out, I'm afraid they will hold still first and then send more powerful men." Shengguan frowned. He didn't worry about the fate of the people in black walking into the valley. He frowned just because the defense and attack of the people in black here were obviously not as tenacious as those of other divisions. Instead, they seemed to be very lazy. They just dealt with the sneak attack and didn't take the initiative to look for it, let alone attack it. In my opinion, if it's not because there are very important resources to be protected here, the manpower here is not as much as we think. At present, they only send hundreds of people to patrol and attack each time, and the real strong don't show up very much. Shengguan's words made the two people around him agree. Looking at the men in front of the beast, he walked carefully towards the valley from his main hall. Shengguan, three people all waved their hands, let the assembled people disperse, quietly moving in the valley, waiting for the arrival of the man in black. The three men hid in one place, staring at the movements of the man in black. When they got to the foot of the mountain, a group of people split into several groups and walked into the valley. The large troops in the valley were silent, but they had their weapons in their hands and were ready to fight against the beast gate. "This time, we have been specially told that we must assassinate and never make a sound, so we hold our breath and do not make a sound." People in black walk carefully in the woods. The dense trees block the sunshine in the sky. The whole woods are damp and cold, with a dull atmosphere. People in black seem to be very nervous, because when so many people gather in the forest, the atmosphere in the whole forest will become different. At this time, there is no echo or movement around them. A man in black took the lead and took 2 steps towards the front. He suddenly raised his hand to stop the people behind him. Then he slowly walked towards a tree in front of him. He carefully walked forward a few steps, and then bent down to look at the ground, carefully open the grass, carefully look at the vegetation around. The two teams, which were not far away from the side, had slowly stood up and raised their weapons to a group of people. The man didn't find anything wrong, so he waved again and let the team behind him move forward. So a small team of people in black, so in a dark situation, stepped into the ambush of several people. Before the men in black had time to react, a group of people suddenly jumped up around them. Without waiting for them to shout, they covered their mouths and cut their throat with the dagger they carried. This group of people, with their eyes open, looked at the group of people in front of them in shock, and then gradually swallowed their breath. "Let's drop their bodies and bring in the people below," someone suggested, so we started to throw all the bodies into the valley. The sound of the bodies rolling down startled the people at the foot of the mountain. "There seems to be movement up there." Hearing someone talking below, Shangguan turned his head and made a silent gesture to Mu Xiuming and Meng Baibi. Then he bent over and continued to listen. "Boss. It's our people," another person is very anxious to say. Suddenly, the people below are quickly running towards the mid-levels. The sound of footsteps was approaching. "Here we are," Meng Bai said softly. "Take out the long sword and face the humanity around him." Both Mu Xiuming and Shangguan hold the weapons in their hands, and then wait for the people below to come in their own direction. The group of people are still careful, walking towards the middle of the mountain, while exploring the nearby trees and grass to see if there are ambush people, while continuing to walk up the mountain. Shangguan stretched out his head and looked. Those people were not far away from him. Then he made a gesture to Mu Xiuming and Meng Baibi. The three men took 2 steps towards the foot of the mountain and got closer. But all of a sudden, the group of people in black stopped. They stood in the middle of the mountain, looked up, then turned and walked back. "Boss, where are we going?" "Yes, boss." "How can we go back?" "Go. There are a lot of people on it." "We're going back to headquarters." Shangguan and others couldn't say it well. They almost leaped out at the same time. They raised their hands to the man in black who was going to run down the mountain. Suddenly, a man in black screamed and rolled down the mountain. Meng Bai didn't give the people around him the chance to take out weapons. Almost at the same time, he chopped at the throat of the people nearby. Suddenly, the man had opened his eyes, throat blood gushing to the ground. But just now that person's scream instantly attracted the attention of countless people in black. Shangguan, several people all felt, there are countless people around, running towards this side. "Retreat!" Shangguan suddenly yelled, but the voice didn't spread far in the crowded valley. In a hurry, let the 3 people disperse and run in 3 directions. After a while, he had already arrived at his own team. However, the gate of the beast branch has been opened, and countless figures suddenly appear in it, flying towards the valley. Everyone's heart sank. "Retreat!" Shangguan suddenly said in a deep voice. With his troops, he turned and ran to the direction he was later on. Shangguan frowned, thinking about what went wrong. When Shangguan finally ran out of the valley, he turned his head and saw Meng Bai and Mu Xiuming coming out with people from other places. They came to Shangguan with a heavy expression. "The people of the Beast Gate seem to know how many people we have here. My actions were exposed and 20 brothers died." On hearing this, Mu Xiuming and Shangguan's face became heavy. He turned to look at the people behind him. Shangguan said, "But how many people are ambushed here? Do the people of the Beast Gate already know?" When they heard this, they all fell into a deep meditation. It's no big deal to say that the things that come quietly from their side are really known by the Beast Gate. The key is that if the Beast Gate doesn't know how many people there are on its side, it doesn't dare to rush in. But at that time, suddenly, the people in black who are still walking forward suddenly withdraw, followed by the people on their side. The 3 parties were attacked, which is really suspicious. Shangguan pulled Meng Bai and Mu Xiuming over and walked forward. Then he found a place far away from his descendants and whispered, "I suspect that we may have a spy here." Secret agent. Mu Xiuming and Meng Bai's heart suddenly sank, but they all understood what was going on. He turned to look at the group behind him, but it was a little heavy. If we take this group of people back to the place where we are stationed, and they mix into the 30,000 people, we are less likely to find them. So say, 3 people instantly all silent. Mu Xiuming turns ahead to the humanity behind. I think they won't chase to come, everybody first rest. At this moment, the anxiety in the hearts of the 3 people can catch up with the sun overhead. Upper bound, Beast Gate Base. The construction of 10,000 Beast Gate is very fast, and most of the buildings have been restored in a short time. Although it is a little rough compared with before, it is also good. What's more surprising is that in this short period of time, a new energy is slowly transported from the underground, which is input into each building through the magic array to provide the required energy for the whole base. Outside the base, Yunwu hid in the 3rd floor of Chaos Hall. Looking at the base that had been operating as usual, a fierce flash flashed in his eyes. Shangguancong. Cloud Dance spits out 3 cold words in his mouth, hoping to tear Shangguancong to pieces. Just looking at the current situation, we can see that Xiaomu has been used as an energy stone by them. Standing beside Yunwu, killers and soldiers who are also on the 3rd floor of Chaos Hall, even those who are far away also feel the cold breath of Yunwu. It is obvious that the breath is deliberately suppressed, but it still makes them feel chilly. Chief, when shall we start? One of the leading killers came forward and asked. Yunwu is so terrible. It can be seen how angry she is and how important the people inside are to her. Now. Cloud Dance's cold voice said, and then neatly turned around, looking at the people standing behind him, eyes narrowed. Heart has already thought about 10 million times the scheme, at this time can finally command down. All officers and men, listen. I will send you all to the farthest place from the base, where you ambush well and stand well with the array I taught you. As long as I take Shangguancong, I will do it immediately. If you can hurt him, it's better. If you can't, just delay as much as possible. Do you understand? I see. Cried the soldiers. In the Chaos Hall, not afraid to be heard by people outside, one by one of the fighting spirit, want to fight a big fight. All the killers listen. You are all the most powerful people in the killer corps. This mission depends on you. You don't have to fight, and try not to cause too much action. Take out your usual latent skills, and be sure to steal Xiaomu back to me. Remember, it's stealing. Once you get it, retreat. Do you understand? I see. The killers replied cleanly, with no less momentum than the soldiers. Well, in that case, let's go. Cloud Dance gives an order, and then flies directly to the selected place. At that time, there was a dense forest, in which the trees were very high and luxuriant, and the bushes on the ground were enough to cover a standing adult. When Yunwu arrived at the place, he directly released the soldiers of Yunjia army and told them to hide here. Then he immediately left with the killers. This time, Cloud Dance did not directly bring them into the base. Instead, it chose a place far away to release them. This is a place between the edge of the safety line. If you go further inside, you will be detected by Shangguancong. Even if there is Chaos Hall, it will not help. Cloud Dance said to the crowd. Seeing that all the killers had already used their hidden kung fu when they appeared according to her instructions, they were very satisfied. Next, I will go in and lead Shangguancong out. You are waiting here. As long as you see us leave, you will do it immediately. Do you understand? I see. The killers replied softly. If Cloud Dance hadn't known where they were hiding for a long time, it would not have been able to distinguish them just by listening to their voices. I didn't expect that the killers had practiced their hiding skills so well that they were worthy of being carefully selected. In this way, Cloud Dance will rest assured once again into the Chaos Hall, toward the base. Shangguancong's mind is exquisite and Cloud Dance is the most clear. However, if he goes up to challenge honestly, it will arouse his suspicion. In this case, Yunwu decided to disguise himself as a person to save Xiaomu and sneak into it by using Chaos Hall. Sure enough, at the moment Yunwu stepped into the base, Shangguancong on the main hall opened his eyes. Yunwu, you are here. There was a fierce flash in Shangguan's eyes. I knew you would take risks. Do you still want to take him away like last time? You must be dreaming. This time, I will let you never come back. Having said that, Shangguan's started directly and flew to the dungeon. He sensed that Yunwu's target was there. And the same, he did not hide his own breath this time, with the arrogance. Yunwu hides in the Chaos Palace. Although the purpose is to lead Shangguan's away, he also takes this opportunity to take a good look at the dungeon. Compared with the last time I came here, today's dungeons have obviously been modified and become more difficult to break through. In addition to some arrays, there are obviously more guards in them than before, one by one, and they are not relaxed at all. Cloud Dance sighed carefully toward the inside, while looking for the underground passage. She knew in her heart that no matter how much the dungeon of the Beast Gate had changed, the place where the energy stone was placed would never change. Because only the underground boundary can connect the energy needs of all parts of the Beast Gate. If it is changed easily, the construction of the Beast Gate can't be completed in a short time. After all, it's a big project. However, Yunwu's search didn't last long. Suddenly, she felt a strong breath pressing directly towards the dungeon. Yunwu was shocked and realized that Shangguan's had come. Now she speeded up the search. Cloud Dance. The voice of Shangguan's came from afar and reverberated in the whole dungeon. If the weak people listened to it, they would be hurt by the power of the voice. But the strength of the guards here is not weak, let alone Yunwu. Nevertheless, Yunwu still pretends to leak a breath, as if it is invincible. Shangguan's keenly caught the breath fluctuation. Although it was fleeting, she was able to roughly determine her position. Now she went directly into the dungeon. Yunwu, I advise you not to overstate your ability. Do you want to break into the dungeon of my Beast Gate? Do you think it's a good time for us to get hurt? Well, I tell you, a thin camel is bigger than a horse. Today, I'm afraid you're going to stay. Shangguan's keeps talking, and the impact in the words is also constantly released, so as to determine the position of Yunwu. Cloud Dance seems not to have heard it, but it still flies down. Every time when the energy comes, it will always, uncontrollably, leak a breath. Finally, the figure of Shangguan's is getting closer and closer, as if it is possible to catch the Cloud Dance at any time, but the more so, it is more difficult to feel the breath of Cloud Dance. Shangguan's guessed in his heart that Yunwu was more careful to hide in order not to be found. Now he was cold. Yunwu, do you think I can't find you? If you have the ability, stay still all the time. Otherwise, once your breath fluctuates, I will find you out immediately. Yunwu hid in silence, as if he was really cornered. He pursed his lips and listened to Shangguan's words without any extra emotion. Shangguan's has been patrolling in the dungeon for a long time, but he still can't find Yunwu's hiding place. He is angry and says in a low voice, Toast, don't drink. Since you don't want to come out, don't blame me for being rude to you. Having said that, the cold sound of Shangguan's immediately sent out a strong breath, covering the whole dungeon from top to bottom and spreading out. This breath has no lethality for people with a little stronger strength, but it is full of pressure. If some ordinary people are here, they will be directly oppressed and die. Compared with the power mixed in the voice before, it was obvious that Shangguan's was serious this time. Since Yunwu didn't want to come out, he forced her out. The Cloud Dance hiding in the third floor of Chaos Hall saw this scene, and she couldn't help but hook her mouth. She was not afraid of Shangguan's action. What she was afraid of was that he didn't do it all the time. The breath is getting closer and closer, Cloud Dance is always standing still, while calling Black Pride in the sea. Help me. Help me. How can I help you? Hyo is at a loss. Do you still need help in this situation? Cloud Dance rolled a white eye in the heart, do a play to want to do enough. Help me hide the breath, Black Proud speechless for a moment, but still immediately help her hide the breath. Before the third floor of Chaos Hall was opened, Hyo always helped her. Later, because the effect was far from comparable to Chaos Hall, Yunwu seldom asked Hyo to help her. Now, in order to make the play more realistic. Cloud Dance finally once again asked Black Proud, 2 layers of hidden superposition, the effect immediately much better. But Yunwoo knew very well that it was just such a hiding. I'm afraid it couldn't escape Shangwon's Hung. The breath finally came to the front, like an energy wave sweeping from the position of Cloud Dance, and the huge pressure came. Yunwoo felt as if he was heavily pressed on his chest by something. He was clearly in the Chaos Hall, but he was still affected. He didn't even have to fake it. He felt the breath of his chest surging. Yunwoo quickly resisted her luck, and the fighting spirit of her physical strength quickly circulated for a week, which made her feel more comfortable. And it is this small action that exposes her whereabouts in an instant. Shangwon's Hong's eyes are bright and sharp, and he catches the position of Yunwoo. At the moment, he is not polite. When he lifts his right hand, a black energy jumps out in an instant, and directly attacks the position of Yunwoo. Just now, it was still empty, and there was no one in the place. Suddenly, a figure flashed. Before the attack of Shangwon's Hung arrived, he fled immediately. The target was not outside, but below the dungeon. That group of black energy boom hit the wall of the dungeon, issued a loud bang. Shangwon's Hung didn't destroy the newly built dungeon again. But when he saw the direction of Yunwoo's escape, Shangwon's Hung's face sank. I really don't want to die. When it's time, I still want to save people. Shangwon's Hung said with a sneer, everyone listen to me. Block all the entrances to the dungeon. The rest of us are trying to catch Yunwoo. Don't let Cloud Dance run away. Anyone who catches her will be rewarded. Yes, a group of people in black who were guarding in the dungeon were in high spirits. They had been ordered to strictly guard here for a long time. 3 days ago, they heard that the Patriarch had arrested a very important person and that someone would break the prison. So everything had been arranged and they were waiting for Yunwoo to throw himself into the net. It's only 3 days now, and the dungeon has just taken shape. The man came as expected. With the orders of the Patriarch and the rewards just promised, how can people not be excited? Now one by one, like a hungry wolf, they spread out in an instant, and acted according to the tasks that had been arranged for a long time. Cloud Dance's eyes flashed slightly. I didn't expect that the dungeon of the Gate of Beasts was also guarded. You should know that the living guard is much more flexible than those rigid arrays, and it's more difficult to break through. At the moment, Cloud Dance didn't want to, immediately said to Hyo in the Sea of Knowledge, quick, help me hide. Hiding into Chaos Hall will affect her speed, so the best way is to let Hyo help her hide for a while. Although they can't avoid Shangwon's Hung, they can make those people in black unaware of themselves and make their actions more convenient. I see. Black, proud and agile response. The next moment, a light white will be wrapped in the cloud, and then disappear with the cloud. Not only people disappeared, even the breath disappeared. Shangwon's Hung noticed the change of the air in front of him, and his eyes narrowed. Do you think it's okay to avoid your subordinates? Don't forget, I'm still here. Do you want to save Xiaomu? It's too presumptuous. After that, Shangwon's Hung speeded up. If it wasn't for the tortuous road in the dungeon, he would have been by her side. Cloud Dance pretends not to hear it, but still rushes to the bottom, regardless of whether the road you choose is right or not, only knowing that Xiaomu is at the bottom. So as long as you see the way down, you just plunge in. It really looks like her style at a critical moment. Finally, the figure of Shangwon's Hung came to his side. A black energy is incomparably fast towards the Cloud Dance, smashed over, this time, without reservation. Cloud Dance tries its best to drive the speed to the extreme. When Zaogan gets the appearance of that power, he directly hides to one side, which can make use of the corner in the dungeon to avoid the attack. But in this way, her figure is also completely exposed. She's over there, Cloud Dance is over there. People in black were attracted by the huge movement, and immediately found the figure of Cloud Dance, and rushed forward one by one. Yunwoo is not in a hurry. Her enemy is only Shangwon's Hung. Up to now, even if you go to the Wanwoman base alone, you still don't feel flustered. With a wave of your hand, the burning black flame of Guwu's sword appears in your hand, with powerful momentum. Shangguan's eyes narrowed. Little Wuling, repeatedly broke into our Beast Gate base. Do you really think you are invincible? The cloud dances a corner of the mouth to hook, on the face peeps out a sneer. Small Wuling again how? It's also a little bit up under your pursuit. Shangguan's was very angry when he mentioned this. He is the most powerful force in the world today. Even after the order of pursuing and killing was issued, the two patriarchs even let each other run away again, and even their strength continued to improve. It was a joke. So at today's stage, no matter whether Yunwu has what he wants or not, she must die. At present, Shangguan's didn't say anything more. He raised his hand directly, wrapped his fists with black power, and rushed to Yunwu. Shangguan's is very fast. Cloud Dance is not a vegetarian, not to mention in the dungeon, the competition is not only pure strength, but also agility, which is exactly what Cloud Dance is good at. At the moment, Yunwu doesn't call his own summoner, so he pesters him with a knife. At the same time, my eyes are constantly searching in the dungeon, hoping to find the way to the underground. She fell into Shangguan's eyes like this, which made him more angry. Dare you try to find the entrance to the bottom? Since you are so concerned about it, I will send you directly to hell to find it. After that, Shangguan's clapped his hands together, and a powerful force appeared on his hands. Cloud Dance hearted jump, only afraid Shangguan's is to move the reel. Finally, after a look at the surrounding situation, Yunwu completely turned around and made a clear decision: withdraw. Beast Division. There must be an important base for them, otherwise they won't be so strict. These people will definitely catch up and kill us. Mu Xiuming said, but now, there are more than 20,000 people in the rumored branch, but they are not willing to send more people to continue to attack us. This shows that the branch must be very important. They are afraid of being attacked here. For the branch with more than 20,000 people, we only have a few hundred people in this sneak attack. Obviously, they already know that we only have so many people this time. Shangguan frowned. Turn around and look at the team behind. The team is resting in the shade of the trees behind. The whole valley is quiet. Except for the whispering voice of the people in the team, there is only the whirring wind. What shall we do? Meng Bai said, we don't know the specific information of the team behind us, and we don't know who they are. So now, if we want to find out the spy, I'm afraid it's very difficult. For a moment, all three of them fell into confusion. But looking at the sun in the sky slowly to the west, the three had no choice but to get up and walk towards the team. Let's go back to the camp first. So they got up again and walked towards the camp. At night, the leaders of various forces were called to the tent and sat down. Today, on the way of our sneak attack, we were attacked by the people of the Beast Gate. Shangguan basically didn't give them the chance to talk about their families. As soon as they arrived, they said it straight to the point. All of a sudden, all the boss are lying in there, no one dare to speak. Our plan is clearly known only by ourselves, and only our people know how many people we go to fight each time. But why is it that this time, we are hit so precisely by the Beast Gate? The look of Shangguan is a rare silence. But now the situation is that the people of the Beast Gate seem to suddenly receive the news, and then find our exact location in the woods, and then kill our brothers. Shangguan continued to say, seeing the dragon Qingxia frowning beside him, he sighed heavily. So, what I want to say is that our team may be adulterated with traitors. One stone stirred up 1,000 waves. Suddenly, all the eldest brothers around changed their faces and looked up at the officer. Suddenly, they were full of panic. Shangguan, how can it be? You see, we are all people who strongly hope for the collapse of the Beast Gate. How can we help the Beast Gate people to find their own position? Isn't that a way to die? That's right. Although we are not the people who break through life and death together with you, if you can't believe us, why call us to fight with you? Some sensitive people are already dissatisfied with the situation. They are yelling in the tent with red face, which makes Long Qingxia and others frown, but they don't say much. Shangguan just stood up and said, "It's not that you betrayed us, but we suspect that there are many people in your team. Please don't have such misunderstanding. After all, we are all brothers who want to work together. So now I just hope that you can bring us a list of the people who took part in the attack tomorrow morning. I hope we can find out about this." Everyone's brows are involuntarily tightly wrinkled. We work together, but was so suspicious of the feeling is certainly not good. But they can't be 100% sure that none of their thousands of subordinates are staring at their own eyes. For a time, these people's mood is also very tangled. All bow to meditate, but all did not agree to come down. Long Qingxie looked out of the window. It seemed that it was very late. His brow wrinkled slightly. He was obviously impatient. He stood up and knocked on the table and said, "It's late now. We're all tired, so let's have a rest. We still have important tasks tomorrow. I want to tell you the task ahead of time, but when I think about what happened today, Long Qingxie can't help but sip his lips and change the topic. Let's all go back now. Tomorrow morning, I hope you can give me a list. In this way, it's also conducive to our cooperation." Then, without waiting for a reply, he had taken the lead to walk out of the room, leaving behind a group of bosses, some angry, some at a loss, some at a loss. Shangguan and his colleagues also went out behind Long Qingxie. They saw that Long Qingxie was standing under the tree outside and surrounded them one after another. "I think we'll see you tonight." Long Qingxie looked at the sky and said, "Is there any spy in our camp? If they come to attack today, it means that someone must have told them that we are gathering here. If they didn't come to attack today, maybe we misunderstood them." Nan Gongyi sighed, "Today is doomed to sleepless, we must be ready to fight at any time." So everyone nodded, separated, and went to their own room. They were waiting for the team of Beast Gate to attack the people here tonight. In the middle of the night, there was only a faint moonlight in the whole valley. The whole forest was covered with a piece of silver light, which projected into everyone's tent. Qi Yi sat up and looked at the light outside the camp. He was silent. But after touching his weapon, he immediately put down his heart. He lay down and looked at the dark roof, but still couldn't sleep. So he just sat up, put on his clothes, got up and walked outside. Outside the tent, a light silver light lit up the whole broad camp. There was no light in the square, let alone any figure. However, no one in the whole valley relaxed their vigilance. Qi Yi's walked slowly towards the front. The camp was hidden in the whole bush. There were people holding hands in each tent. They stood quietly in the dark and didn't say a word. Basically, the night watchmen are the best in the whole force. They have excellent martial arts. The most important thing is that they are very clever. When the guards saw Qi Yi's coming, they nodded at Qi Yi's and continued to stand guard. Qi Yi's walked forward, and soon came to the edge of a cliff. And coincidentally, on the edge of the cliff, there was also a man standing. Nanganji. He stood on the edge of the cliff, white as snow, and looked at the distance. On the other side of the mountain, far away from the mountains, he continued to transpiration with a faint white mist. That's where Ling Hu is. Not yet asleep. Nan Gongyi didn't look back, just said faintly, and then continued to look ahead. Yes, you didn't sleep either. Qi Knight also light response. They too, all get along with his light even with alienation, but look in their eyes, but all with tenderness. I'll have a look here. Nan Gongyi sighed, and his tone was very helpless. If there is any change in the Beast Gate, I will be the first to know. My eyes can save us a lot of time. Qi Knight cannot deny the nod, go to the South Palace side, stand shoulder to shoulder with him. Standing so quietly, the cold wind blowing from the cheek side, two people smell their own body familiar with the taste, cannot help but feel at ease. There are more important things tomorrow. Go back to sleep. I'm here. Nan Gongyi turns his head and looks at Qi's Knight. The light moonlight is reflected in his eyes. Nan Gongyi's eyes made Qi's Knight feel a little stunned. Leng for a long time, she suddenly recovered, face slightly red, turned his head. No, I'll stay here with you. Anyway, I can't sleep before I come out. Nan Gongyi's gentle smile, did not speak, and continued to look at the distance. Suddenly, Nan Gongyi's face changes slightly, looking at the pupil shrinking in front of him. Chi Yi's hasn't digested Nan Gongyi's gentle expression in front of him. Suddenly he hears Nan Gongyi shouting, "Be careful." However, she suddenly saw a dagger flying in front of her eyes. Then, a silver, also suddenly came in front. A dull hum, a warm embrace. Chi night color Leng Leng by the South Palace in front of to press to fall on the ground, long time didn't get up. Nanganji, are you okay? Chi night suddenly a little nervous, because it has been a long time, Nan Gongyi still did not get up. Hello. Chi Yi's pats Nan Gongyi lying on his body and takes a deep breath. In her mind suddenly appeared 10,000 kinds of ways to see the people of the 10,000 Beast Gate, but suddenly heard Nan Gongyi on his body suddenly vomit breath, and then, difficult to get up. Chi Yi's quickly drags Nan Gongyi to his side and makes him turn around. Then, on his back, the dagger is still inserted on his shoulder, and his white clothes are already full of red. This let Chi night color in the heart a tight, slightly frown. You wait, I'll help you. Go back and tell them first. Nan Gongyi's tone is still so calm, with a unique feeling of peace of mind, at least, Chi Yi's thinks so. Nan Gongyi's face turned white. He stood up and said to Chi Yi's behind him, "Help me pull out this dagger." But Chi Yi's frowned and refused, "That's no good. If you don't stop bleeding, isn't it more trouble? The inspection team will arrive soon. You put me here. You go to inform them and get ready to fight," Nan Gongyi said in a light tone. But Chi Yi saw the pain that he was hiding, and the black air that gradually appeared on his face. "You're poisoned." Chi Yi's was shocked. Then, the whole person seems to be suddenly cooled down. She will Nanganji carefully help sit under the tree, but also know what is the most important thing now, so the dagger from Nanganji's shoulder, turned away. Nan Gongyi breathed, then closed his eyes and frowned slightly. The men of the Beast Gate are coming. When Chi Yi saw the people around him, this was the first sentence, and then the whole camp became active. At the beginning, some people ran to the camp and scattered around, while others ran to the camp of Long Qingxie and informed him. She did not dare to delay, and ran back to the edge of the cliff, because she knew that if the enemy came from the edge of the cliff, Nanganji might be the first to die. Just walked to the edge of the cliff, Chi Knight's face suddenly changed. Because she saw that on the edge of the cliff, countless people in black had arrived. Nan Gongyi is sitting on the ground to use his skills to heal his wounds. There are 2 or 3 people in black around him who put the knife on his neck. There is a light red color on his collar that has been cut by the knife. But he did not move at all, and the people around him were discussing something, and did not pay attention to this side. Chi Knight dare not delay. Snake sword has appeared in the hands. Jump Up has come to Nan Gongyi's side, waving snake sword toward the man in black around him. Suddenly, the man in black screams and retreats. Another man in black, with quick eyes and quick hands, grabs Nan Gongyi's collar and lifts him up. The knife is dead against Nan Gongyi's neck. All the people in black surrounded the 2 people in an instant. Chi Yi's body method is very quick. She suddenly draws out the dagger and rushes towards the people around Nan Gongyi without saying a word. "You guys." Chi Yi's heart gave a sneer. Seeing the man's knife coming down in front of him, Chi Yi suddenly stopped and raised his leg. In a moment, the knife in the man's hand flew out. But Chi Knight did not stop. Toward the front of the man's stomach kicked in the past. Suddenly the man screamed. There was no time to fight back, had already flew out. Holding Nan Gongyi, he frowned. "Are you okay? It doesn't matter if you don't use fighting spirit." Nan Gongyi said, but rarely showed a wry smile, "But now it seems impossible." "It's okay. I'm here." Chi Yi said, "Put him up," said, "They will not entangle with us for too long, because they care more about the people inside." Carefully with the snake sword in front of the people, for fear that these people suddenly rushed up. And the people in black around them also seem very nervous. They also carefully look at Qi Yi's and dare not make any action at all. Nangong Yi's face was dark and his lips were purple, which made Qi's night more heavy. But in front of this group of people did not intend to leave, surrounded the two people, but the side of their camp, there has been a continuous stream of shadows from the cliff. Qi Yi's is not worried because there are more powerful people in the camp. But the people in black here didn't let them leave at all, but they didn't do anything. Obviously, they wanted to control the two people so as to lighten the burden on them. Although the poison of Nangong Yi around him can be alleviated as long as he is not lucky, it is time for no delay. Qi Yi's lowered his head and thought for a while. He suddenly helped Nangong Yi to sit under the tree. Then he danced the snake sword and stabbed at a man in black's chest. As soon as they saw Qi's action, they felt nervous and began to act together. All of a sudden, the scene was in chaos. Qi Yi's fights with the people around him, and sometimes turns to see if Nangongji is safe. But suddenly, a very strong breath comes from his side, which makes Qi Yi's heart tight. Finally, the powerful man comes. A sword to the dark place over there. With a crisp sound, Qi Yi's felt that her snake sword was touched by something, and then a powerful force made her snake sword bounce away. If it wasn't for her good foundation, I'm afraid the snake sword would have gone away. She gritted her teeth, frowned and looked at her hand. The tiger's mouth had begun to bleed, and her whole hand was shaking. Who is it? Come out. Qi Yi shouts away, in front of the pitch-dark world, can't see this person at all, and this person's speed is really too fast. According to Qi Yi's feeling, I'm afraid this person's realm is equal to his own. Her heart immediately raised. Looking at the Nangong Yi behind her, she turned to the direction of Nangong Yi. Nangong Yi can't defeat this person at this time. If this person wants to attack Nangong Yi now, Nangong Yi will surely die. She is alert to stand in the South Palace side, carefully looking at everything around. Suddenly, in his side, a cool wind came, let Qi Night heart a burst of tension, immediately will fight gas package body, toward the person in front of attack. The man sneered twice in the dark and said nothing. But Qi Yi's sword wind suddenly attacks Qi Yi's from the darkness, which makes Qi Yi's secret way not good. He turns to avoid it, but he is still scratched by the sword Qi, and the blood flows down the river. The man was not ready to give up at all. When Qi Yi's didn't slow down, he stabbed again. However, Qi Yi's felt that he could not hide his sword. She clenched her teeth, raised the snake sword, and planned to hit it hard and stab it to death. But did not expect, in front of a burst of white flash, Nangong Yi has appeared in front of her body, purple fighting gas suddenly wrapped in the hand, toward the person in front of the sword padded in the past. Suddenly, the sword wind stabs to one side, and Nangong Yi's face turns pale. Nangongji. Qi Yi's face turned white, and he ran forward to help Nangong Yi. Seeing that Nangong Yi's face had already turned pale, he was very anxious. However, the man in front of him still didn't give up. He seemed determined to kill Qi Yi's and Qi Yi's. He stabbed a sword again and went straight to Nangong Yi. Qi Yi's can't escape. She can only hold the snake sword and rush to fight with the long sword. But the long sword is very domineering. She just splits her snake sword and stabs it at Nangongji. In the heart can't help but smile bitterly. Qi Yi Southeast Heart Road, how so unlucky, encounter such a difficult role. Camp direction, suddenly jumped out a shadow, ran to Qi Night's side. Suddenly, Qi Night's eyes brightened, gritted his teeth, raised the snake sword, and fiercely blocked the sword in front of him. The shadow in front of him suddenly took a cool breath, and then he stepped back. On the other side of the camp, the figures of Dragon Qing Xia and Shengguan also appeared. Several leaps come to Qi Yi's side, and Long Qingxia and Shengguan just surround them. How are you? Long Qingxia asked. The man just now seems to be aware of the state of Long Qingxia, so he doesn't act easily anymore. I'm okay. Nangongji is poisoned. It's very urgent now. Qi Yi's finally has a chance to lower his head, lift Nangong Yi's wrist and diagnose quietly. After a circle of fighting spirit in Nangongyi's body, his face is even worse. You go first, I'll trap this man. Long Qingxie just said a few words. Shangguan. Three people looked at each other, all nodded, quickly set up Nangongyi and ran towards the camp. But now, the man, who had been in the dark and didn't show his face, finally laughed and came out. Long Qingxie, I've heard a lot about you. The voice was not familiar. Long Qingxie glanced at the man and didn't want to talk to him. The épée suddenly appeared in his hand and stabbed the man in front of him. Épée with whirring wind, towards the man in black attack, immediately will be around the trees are brought down. The man exclaimed, as if feeling very happy in his heart. He stepped back 2 steps and laughed. It really deserves its reputation. Let me learn from it today and see if your strength is the same as that in the rumor. The man in black smiles again. He throws the sword in his hand and flies to Dragon Qingxie's side in an instant. He waves his hand to stab him. The dragon didn't hide from the evil either. He held the épée down, but he didn't retreat. Instead, he pushed his feet forward, then waved the épée and cut it down with the sword. The man took a cold breath, staggered back a few steps, then stopped in a hurry, looking at the dragon's evil look, murderous. The dragon tilts evil to hook the corner of the mouth and smiles at that person. How? Do you know my strength now? Is it the same as the rumor? The man in black gave him a cold look and said, it's just the same, but it's far from enough to fight against the beast gate. Long Qingxie directly ignored his provocation, his eyes full of contempt. You'd better hurry up, I don't have so much time to play games with you. If you're still like this, I'll be serious. You, the man in black roared angrily. At the next moment, the man suddenly stopped and was stunned. Then he looked in the direction of the camp. Then he sprinkled white powder in front of Long Qingxie and left in a hurry. Long Qingxie was quick in hand and eyes. He quickly covered his eyes, but he felt pungent. He coughed twice and coughed up the poisonous gas he had just inhaled. Turn to see to camp direction, that person already rushed past. Long Qing evil also quickly toward that side gallop but go. Just entering the camp, the whole camp was in full swing, with countless bodies on both sides falling to the ground and people wailing on the ground. Long Qingxie sees that Situ Lan and others are struggling, so he turns around and walks into Nangongyi's camp. Now he is very worried about Nangongyi's situation. In the tent of Nangongyi, Chi Knight very nervous looking at a doctor is to Nangongyi healing. The doctor is very nervous, face is sweat. But he looked at the Nangongyi in front of him and found that he didn't wake up at all, which made him more nervous. How's it going? Dragon's heresy. Also don't wait for a person to reply, straight sit down, take the wrist of South Palace to come over, close eyes, brow tight wrinkly. This poison is so overbearing. Long Qingxie frowned and said, Nangongyi, don't be dead. Since you don't wake up, I have to use some special methods to treat you. After that, Long Qingxie turned to the doctor and said coldly, bring me a knife. The doctor hasn't responded yet. Qi Yi's has taken out a dagger from himself and handed it to Qi Yi's. The doctor was flustered, and went to stop him in a hurry. This can't work, it will kill you. Long Qingxie was very upset. He waved his hand and asked people to send him out. He said, in the future, this kind of person won't have to follow in the team. He can't help at all. He took Qi Yi's dagger, put it on the candle and baked it, then put it on the table and put a wisp of his fighting spirit into Nangongyi's wrist. The poison in Nangongyi's body instinctively chooses to fight against the strong fighting spirit. At this time, the dragon pours another fighting spirit into it and forces it forward in an instant. Qi Yi sees that Nangongyi's face turns red suddenly. She is nervous, but she frowns and keeps calm. Looking at the dragon in front of her, she fully believes that he will not harm her best friend. Long Qingxie suddenly opens his eyes, picks up the dagger on the table, and paddles down toward Nangongyi's wrist. The South Temple immediately brows tight wrinkly, although don't have consciousness, but instinct of hand to return to. Seeing this, Qi rushes forward and presses Nangongyi's hand. Long Qingxie closes his eyes and continues to remove the poison from Nanganji's body. There are 2 wounds of shoulder and wrist vein, and the black blood soon turns into normal red, which makes Qi Yi's feel relieved. It doesn't seem to matter. Long Qingxie sighed, got up and walked towards the door. Let's go. I'm afraid this battle tonight is not so easy to fight. Qi Yi turns his head, frowns and takes a look at Nangang Yi. He follows Long Qingxie and goes out of the house. With the addition of the man in black, the power of the beast gates suddenly became stronger and stronger, and the people on the side of Dragon Qingxie were killed and injured badly. But Long Qingxie turned his eyes and suddenly called out, "Come on." As soon as the voice fell, several people had already come and stood in front of the dragon. Dragon Qing Evil attached to the ears of those people, whispered something, and then patted him on the shoulder to let him leave. Then he turned to Qi Yi and said, "You stay and take care of Nanganji. Others will follow us to attack the branch of Wanwoman." With that, a smile of evil spirit rose from the corner of his mouth. Qi Knight just want to ask why, see the boss of various forces have come, everyone together into the camp of Dragon Qing Evil. So Qi Yi's followed in. Let's get straight to the point. Before everyone was seated, Long Qingxie began to say, "Tonight, it is preliminarily estimated that 10,000 people have been brought by the 10,000 Beast sect. If the information is true, there may be less than 10,000 people garrisoned in the 10,000 Beast sect branch. Now, we will immediately dispatch your people to attack and kill the whole 10,000 Beast sect." On hearing this, everyone's heart was shocked and their eyes suddenly brightened. "Leave some people, continue to fight here, and obstruct the people from here to help there. The rest, now hurry to the branch of the Beast Gate and take the stronghold." So next, Long Qingxie arranged the task, and then let the boss to organize their own team. Shangguan and his party all stayed. But Long Qingxie didn't say anything, just said with a smile, "Wait for your good news." All of them chuckled, but Qi Yi frowned and said nothing. "How is Nanganji now?" Shangguan suddenly asked. For a moment, everyone turned their eyes to Qi Yi. Qi Yi pursed her lips, nodded and said, "Basically, it's no big problem, so I'll go with you." "That won't do." Long Qingxie and Shangguan frowned and refused at the same time. "If there is no one here in Nanganji, what should we do in case of any accident, and we have so many people there, there will be no danger, so you don't have to worry." Everyone persuades Qi Yi, which makes Qi Yi frown even more tightly. He lowers his head and doesn't know what else to say. Suddenly, someone came in from outside. Dressed in white, with some fatigue, after coming in, he sat among the people and took a breath. His face was still pale. "Nanganji. Are you all right?" Qi Yi frowns and goes to Nanganji. Without saying a word, he pulls Nanganji's wrist and probes down. But Nangang gently pushed away and looked up at the people. "Today's World War I, I must participate." Dragon Qing Xia is very helpless, turned to see Qi Knight. But seeing Qi Yi's brow locked, he seemed very unhappy, so he had to persuade him, "Even if you follow us to leave, you can't get any good from your body now. It's better to be here and guard here." At this time, Chong Guangji suddenly rushed in, covered with blood, but his eyes were very bright. "Boss. Boss. I'm going too." There was a lot of fighting outside, which made Long Qingxie a little irritable. He wanted to get things done as soon as possible. He turned his head to look at Chong Guangji and said, "You stay here, take your brothers and guard here. Let's attack the branch of the Beast Gate first, and then." Long Qingxie sneered, his eyes full of murderous, "Then, find out the person who betrayed us, and don't leave a whole corpse." In a word, Chong Guangji shivered and looked at the people around him nervously, but he exclaimed in his heart that it was dangerous. There was no spy on his side. When the crowd came out of the camp, there was still a lot of shouting outside. However, there were obviously fewer people than before. Long Qingxie nodded with satisfaction, and then ordered Chong Guangji to do something, and took a few people to the direction of Linghu. Nangang Yi is a little weak, but it's not serious, which makes everyone feel at ease. And Chi Knight has been with him around, people are no longer talking, silent with the dragon behind, quietly toward the direction of Linghu. When 8 people came to Linghu, 5 or 6 forces had already sent the news. Long Qingxie stood in the trees and looked at the branch of Wan women not far ahead. He didn't move for a long time. When will it start? Meng Bai asked. Obviously some can't wait, but Long Qingxie slightly raised his hand, stopped them talking, and said quietly, observe the number of them, we'll attack again. We all ambushed quietly in the mountain not far from the branch, quietly looking at the branch of the Beast Gate. It was dark, but the gate of the branch of the Beast Gate was bright. There were several inspection teams coming and going, and the number of defenders did not increase. Long Qingxie's mouth starts up, suddenly raises his hand, and then puts it down. All of a sudden, countless teams around him ran towards the branch of the Beast Gate. But there was no one to speak, only the rustling leaves. If you don't know the situation in the woods, you just think it's the wind blowing leaves. The people of the Beast Gate didn't expect that they were brave enough to give up their stronghold and attack here. Naturally, they relaxed their vigilance. Some people even yawned and looked sleepy. Long Qingxie nodded with the people around him, and everyone ran quietly towards the main gate of the Beast Gate from the forest. In an instant, Long Qingxie waved his épée and cut down at a guard. The guard was alert and looked into the sky. At this time, his face turned pale. He saw countless black figures coming from the mountains. When the moon is dark and the wind is high, killing and setting fire. Long Qingxie's eyes are bright and frightening in the dark. With extremely cold eyes, he is going to kill the branch of the Beast Gate step by step in the same way. There is another side in the battle, which is different from the previous fighting, but the battle here is full of scheming and danger. In the darkness, the silent jungle seemed to have something to pass by. With a sudden sound, the lush grass swayed twice, and then the calm was restored. What about people? Where have you been? Shenguansheng's figure appeared in the woods, feeling the smell of clouds, but suddenly found that he could not find her. Then he stopped and yelled angrily. Behind him, a group of people in black followed closely, but their strength could not compete with Shenguansheng. Even if they tried their best, they could not shorten the distance, and even the distance was getting bigger and bigger. Now that Shenguansheng has stopped, they can take a breath. Suzerain, I've searched all the places in the base. I didn't find that cloud-dancing figure. It seems that she really ran away. The man in black who caught up first reported the situation. They watched Yunwu escape with their own eyes, and specially set up a mechanism after Yunwu left. As long as Yunwu goes back, even if people who can't see her can't feel her breath, the mechanism can still be activated, at least to know whether she has gone back. Now the mechanism is intact, which is enough to show that Yunwu has indeed left. But did not expect, unexpectedly broke away from the pursuit of Shenguansheng? Shenguansheng's eyes are dark. When did the cloud dance become so fast? Or did she not run away, just hide her breath? Thinking of this, Shenguansheng looked up at the sky. Now it's dark everywhere. They've been chasing Yunwu for so long. They've been taken around the base by her, and almost caught her several times. But the next moment she's gone. This time again. Shenguansheng is very angry. He once again uses his previous move in the dungeon to force Yunwu out and sweep away the powerful pressure. This time, there was no fluctuation of power. Damn it! She really let her escape, Shenguansheng said coldly. Go back. After that, he turned around and left. After Shenguansheng left, Yunwu's figure appeared in the place where Shenguansheng was just now. It's really a good thing. It's useless to hide in the Chaos Palace, but now it can escape his tracking. Cloud Dance plays with a transparent bead in her hands and thinks in her heart. This is another treasure she found in the tomb. She didn't know what to do, but she accidentally found that there was a strong natural force on the bead, but there was no aggressiveness. Cloud Dance tries to bring out the force of nature. The next moment, I feel that the communication between myself and the surrounding environment seems to be enhanced a lot, and then I find that my breath is completely hidden between heaven and earth. But this thing can only hide the breath, but can't hide the body, but it's enough for Cloud Dance. Now she has the Chaos Hall as a hiding place, and also has the hidden breath of this thing, and then there is no need to be afraid of Shenguansheng. Cloud Dance plays with beads in her hand and takes a name for it in her heart, hidden beads. Just put the bead on the hand away, expect it to feel a strong force directly towards their own attack. The cloud dances a corner of the mouth to hook, instantly toward a side to hide, on the hand is jumping black flame of Gu Wu big knife tightly hold, looking at that black energy unexpectedly after turning a bend to continue to attack toward oneself to come over. Yunwu is not afraid. He looks like he wants to be tough. But when the power is about to reach him, he has a flexible flash. The attack is manipulated. With a bang, he directly bumps into the tree behind Yunwu. You haven't left yet. The figure of Shenguansheng appears again, and he knows that Yunwu will not give up easily. Moreover, she can't be faster than herself at all, so the only explanation is that she used a special way to hide nearby. If, after he pretended to leave, Yunwu really came out. How can I leave without saving people? Cloud Dance lightly laughs a, not polite reply way. Now she is not able to fight with Shenguansheng, and in order to gain Shenguansheng's trust, she doesn't run away directly. She has to be determined to save Xiaomu to make Shenguansheng believe her and fall into her trap. Well, do you think you can escape with one more broken bead? Dream Shenguansheng sneered, I'll let you know now that a lot of things can't be accomplished by these messy things. The most reliable thing is strength. Having said that, a powerful force suddenly appeared around Shenguansheng. The black energy directly wrapped him in, and his eyes looked at the clouds coldly. This powerful breath is released without reservation. Even the Cloud family army and others in the distance feel the power, and they can't help worrying about Cloud Dance. Yunwu's eyes twinkled, and the next moment, the bead appeared in his palm again. As soon as Yunwu hung it, she directly hung the bead on her waist. In this way, even in the battle, she could hide her breath and greatly improve her combat effectiveness. The black flame swept out, Cloud Dance right hand forced a wave, the black flame into a tongue of fire, directly toward the Shenguansheng attack. Without too many movements and moves, it seems that this move is just brute force. Compared with Shenguansheng's powerful momentum, Yunwu pays more attention to speed, and needs to defeat him before Shenguansheng's move. Well, I can't help myself. Shenguansheng gave a cruel smile. Then, his right hand moved, and a black energy wrapped his right hand directly. When the black flame arrived, Shenguansheng impolitely reached for it and wanted to crush it directly. Cloud danced the corner of the mouth a hook, the heart way, cheated. The next moment, I saw that the energy in Shenguansheng's hand was directly eroded away. That black flame is like the maggot of tarsal bone, constantly close to Shenguansheng, seems to recognize him. Shenguansheng's eyes were slightly heavy, and his reaction was also very fast. His palm moved, and more powerful force swept out. Finally, he put out the flame when the flame stuck to his palm. The black flame died out gradually. In the most central place, a small red flame jumped for a while, as if fighting against Shenguansheng, but it was finally extinguished. It's cunning to hide another kind of flame in it, Shenguansheng said coldly. If it wasn't for his quick reaction, he was afraid that he had been burned at this time. He could feel the temperature of the red flame. Although he could put it out, it was not enough to rely on his first strength. Yunwu doesn't speak, but her hand is not slow. When she just went to Shenguansheng to deal with the fire, she had already put away the black flame sword, flipped her hands quickly, and the power of one color element after another constantly jumped in her palm, and finally gathered together. Shenguansheng's eyelids jump. It's not the first time he's seen Yunwu use this move. He knows the power of this move, and immediately takes action. He flies directly to Yunwu to stop her. Cloud Dance corner of the mouth a hook, coldly said, late. At the same time, a 6-color group of light on the hand is extremely gorgeous. Facing the rushing Shenguansheng, there is no fear. Yunwu throws the group of light on the hand directly. At the next moment, Yunwoo quickly retreated to the rear, which was not what she could resist, so she did not hesitate to hide in the Chaos Hall. Shanggunsong also understood the power of this thing. It seemed that it was a light group flying slowly towards him. Somehow, it was extremely fast. It was too late for Shanggunsong to retreat. Not far behind is the base of the Beast Gate. If he retreats, he is afraid that this thing will affect it. Shanggunsong hated Yunwoo in his heart. He forced him to take this move here. At the moment, he didn't dare to neglect, and all his strength was concentrated. Black energy emerged in his hands. Behind him, the black robe was calm, but it was hunting again. The light group approached, reflecting the ferocity of Shanggunsong's face. Behind him, a group of people in black quickly retreated. They all heard that Cloud Dance was powerful. How dare they approach? However, it's not that they can leave without getting close. Ah! Who kicked me? Cried a man in black in horror. I don't know who kicked him behind him and smashed him to Shanggunsong directly. Shanggunsong's eyes sank, and he knew that Cloud Dance must be playing tricks again. But now, where does he have the heart to manage? Body movement, directly flash past, this was not hit by the man in black, but then, one by one, the man in black rushed over. Cloud Dance happily throws people in black toward Shanggunsong. If these people in black are not solved, it will be a problem to fight at that time. She has been thinking about how to solve them in the case of Shanggunsong. Now she has solved them directly. If in peacetime, these people in black are also very difficult to deal with. But now under great pressure, they can't play their normal strength at all. Besides, Yunwoo didn't fight with them directly, but took advantage of invisibility to bring them to Shanggunsong, risking the risk of death in Shanggunsong's hands, and at the same time, he had to react with the fastest speed to escape.